Welcome on into today's show. Um, we have a very special show today, very special episode with these four gentlemen that I know, gone to school with them. Today we'll be previewing the NFL and the college football season today. Um, Jam-packed episode. Probably there's going to be probably a hot debate. You know, I guarantee you it'll be at some point. But I'm here with Shea Bresnahan, Matthew Luggio, and Mike Belcher. We did this last year. Shay's joining us this year.
Yeah.
We're previewing the season, college football, and the NFL. But let's get into it. Alrighty. So, guys, obviously the college football season is about a few weeks away. Very much fall camp has already started for some teams. Media days are starting to wrap up. Last year was a pretty interesting and chaotic season. Last year we had a head coach leave during the middle of the season during a playoff run. We had Indiana win the national championship. We had a quarterback who was 25 leading Ole Miss damn near close to the national championship game. I just have one question. Who is going to win the conference for each Power 5 school and who could potentially be a G5 school in the playoffs this year?
Belcher, you want to go since you want to talk about your G5 school?
Sure. Oh, nothing excites me more than the team down in Florida. That little green team down in Florida, the USF Bulls, are making the playoff this year, and I
Brian
love,
Hartline's first year.
I love the hire of Brian Hartline. He should have been an offensive coordinator years ago. He just streamlined from receiver coach to head coach because they know what he's about. You look at his track record. OSU is wide receiver university. That's all him. That's all Hartline. And if you look last year, before even Hartline even got there, the other dude was there, and they're beating ranked teams. They beat Boise State in the opener. Then a couple weeks later, beat then 13. I think it was Florida. What it was in this? It wasn't in the swamp, was it? It wasn't the swamp.
Uh, it
If
was,
it,
I believe. I was.
I think it was in the swamp, and it was by
It
double digits
was.
too.
It
It was by
was,
double
yeah.
digits too. So I feel like you have a lot of guys returning this year, and you some guys that leave because the coach leaves. All right, cool. You bring in Brian Hartline. You bring in a load of receiver talent that is going to get molded to a perfect T by Hartline. That offense is going to be humming. You have a very, very weak schedule. They don't play one ranked team, and they play just two teams, I believe, that were over 500 last year. So I feel like if they can run the table and then go to the American Championship, beat Tulane, or I think Memphis is going to be a sleeper this year too. But if they can beat one of those guys, finish 13-0, and as like the 20, like maybe high teens in the country, kind of like how JMU was last year, I feel like they can sneak into the playoff as a like 11 or 12. I'll be completely honest with you. I think they'll be the best group of five team this year.
Okay. Random shout. I do believe Heartline has already recruited a guy from Jersey, right? From Lidge, your cousin's school. Am I incorrect
Uh,
there?
yeah, wide receiver. Can't remember his name at the moment, but he's
He's
pretty.
really
He's pretty
good.
good. Yeah,
He's
he's
really
Okay.
pretty
good.
good.
I've seen him on NG Athletics and everything. He's really good. It's
Yeah.
all that. Very good.
Already.
I
That's
I
not, that's not a
I'll
bad
move
shout.
on and I'll keep it within that conference. Actually, my group of five team. I'll go with the UTSA, one of the most
Wow.
high powered offenses in the
Wow.
country. I'm
That's
pretty sure they scored over 55
that's
3 times last year. I mean,
Uh,
for
against
a
who
high
though?
powered offense like that, you can win a lot of games. I don't care against who. 60 points
Yeah,
is
just look
60
at North
points.
Texas. Just look at North Texas. Literally look at North Texas.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
I'm pretty sure they bring back most of their team.
UTSA. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that
a
a
good
lot.
take.
Nice shout.
So my take, I think for Power Five, it's gonna be Memphis. I like them a lot last season, especially. I just think they had a well-rounded team, especially on offense. The quarterback play wasn't bad at any points, but then just towards the season, like at the end of the season, it started falling off a little bit, which some bad losses. But I think Memphis can take a step forward this season and actually become like make the playoffs. especially if they beat UN. What was his name again? UNLV
Yeah,
first, and like beat good opponents,
that's
and
also
it's definitely like slowly like not get edged out by like bad losses to like bad teams. They should be fine.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. I'm gonna say JMU again. Napier, he knows that kind of like realm of G5. He's done well at G5. That's why he kind of got the job at Florida. Being in a G5 school. So I'm just gonna say them. I'm gonna say that those guys are gonna come out win the conference, the Sun Belt again, and have a good enough record to be in the playoffs again. Obviously, it's gonna be a whole different team. They had a ton of transfers, new quarterback, but I'm gonna say Napier. I think Napier wasn't an SEC coach. We all knew it. I'm just gonna say him. I'm gonna say that the JMU is gonna be back in the playoffs once again. So we move on to the roundtable again for the conference champions. There's so many different, seasons each year that we know that there can be different champions. Repeat champions don't really happen all that much in college conference championships that much anymore. Except if you're Georgia or Alabama. But who do we think is going to win the conference championship in the Big 12 this year? Who do you think is going to win the conference?
I think it's still Texas Tech. I mean, bringing back 65% of production. They obviously lost Sorsby. It could be a distraction. That's honestly my really only concern with them is letting that become a distraction rather than just something in the past. I mean, it's hard. It's obviously a lot to overcome. There's so much noise around them that I just hope it doesn't really get in the way of them. To be honest, I think they could make another playoff run eventually, but they got to get past this hump.
Absolutely, certainly they can. Joe McGuire's a very underrated head coach. I would love to see, Texas Tech kind of like play Texas in the future one time that in Lubbock. That would be a fantastic game. Um, but I absolutely that could certainly happen. Obviously the Sorsby thing is a bit of a huge turn with their offseason. Me personally, I think if they would have had Sorsby, that would be a lock for me to win the Big 12 championship again. But me personally, I'm just going to take BYU. I think, you know, they were right in the fold last year. Could have won it. Obviously, they were not better than Texas Tech last year. I think Byron Brown, he was a freshman quarterback last year, leading them to a championship title appearance. And I think BYU is just going to beat Texas Tech simply because of the quarterback play. Even though Texas Tech, did they beat them twice last year? Absolutely. They beat them twice in the regular season and the championship, and that's why they made the playoffs over BYU. But I'm just going to say BYU is going to win Big 12 this year. I believe in Sataki. I think he's very underrated. Top 15 coach in college football. And I think BYU is going to win the Big 12 this year.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I get that, but BYU's always been kind of like that second coming team to me. They've always been good, but never like great to make it past any of like the actual good teams in the conference, like Texas Tech. But I want to go a different route. I want to say Houston's gonna win it all because because the quarterback play I think is really good for them. You have Connor Wigman, I believe his name is,
Weigman.
and
Weigman,
yeah, he's pretty
Never
good in
show
my
off.
opinion.
Sorry, that was rude. Continue.
No, you're good. And I think also just the transfers they got, plus a very well played defense can help them win over BYU and Texas Tech. Which, yeah, you can say Texas Tech have a lot of power, talent wise, but like again, losing your quarterback this late in the season kind of will throw a wrench and stuff. So,
Yeah. About Houston, I think they're good, not great. I think BYU is great. I think they're going to win the conference. I'll explain in a sec. I think Texas Tech is great. I think Oklahoma State is going to be a great team in the conference. And I think TCU, is better than them too. But I think BYU, I think, is going to win the conference because with Texas Tech, you have so much turnover and then you have the controversy with Sorsby, which people are going to say, well, that happened so long ago. It's not. I think it's definitely going to affect them because if you're the coaching staff, you go in the portal. All right, I want A, B, or C. You get your guy right. You get B. Say Sorsby's B. You get him on campus, and then you figure out, oh, he's gambling. He can't play. Like he's done. Then now you have to pivot. And I'm not saying Texas Tech has no quarterback depth because last year we saw I forgot what their starting quarterback was last year, but I think he went down and their backup came in through like 70-yard touchdown pass. And I was like, it's like, all right, you have some insurance here. But I think, yeah, he stayed, I believe. So I feel like they're in good hands with him, but I feel like the controversy is too much. You know what I mean? I feel like it would be too much of a roadblock because you're going to be reminded every single time, like every single Saturday, they're going to be reminded that, Source was gambling. And that's why I think that with BYU returning a lot of people and having the continuity at quarterback with Bear Buckmeyer and LJ Morton, they're also one of my favorite quarterback running back duos in the entire college football. So it's hard to believe that a team that their only obstacle last year was Texas Tech. If BYU went 11-2, I believe last year, and both their losses were to Texas Tech. And I feel like with all the turnover that Texas Tech is dealing with everybody going to the league, quarterback, this, that, and the third, I feel like BYU is in a prime uh, chance to win the conference right now.
Certainly, absolutely. That's my pick. I think BYU is going to win the conference. It'll be an interesting league. I think Big 12 is certainly a very underrated conference, and I like to watch the Big 12. I've always liked to watch the Big 12.
Same defense. It just bombs away.
It is, yeah. It's Big 12 is always just bombs away offenses. But anyway, speaking of the next conference, this conference to me is not my favorite conference at all. Certainly one of the weaker conferences in the Power Five. I mean, the team that was in the national championship last year didn't even win the conference championship game, or wasn't even in the conference championship game. The ACC. I think all four of us are pretty in tune, an automatic who is going to win the ACC this year. We all know it's going to be Miami. They to me have the best overall team in the ACC, offensive wise. Before we had to re-record this, Shay obviously mentioned now that this could be a top 5 offense. Absolutely. Darian Mensah, he will have to perform because once again, mentioned before, they're paying him $12 million in NIL. And obviously they have arguably probably one of the best, if not one of the best skill position players in college football. Mark Fletcher was absolutely electric in their playoff run. And obviously Malachi Tony, out in space, no one's catching him. So I think Miami's going to win the ACC this year. I think we're probably pretty much all in agreement. I really don't see anybody else challenging them. Just hopefully they're not trolling in the offseason. Last year they lost to SMU on the road. So hopefully, they're not trolling and they make it pretty easy on themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with McGalley. And you hit it right on the nail. You're gonna have the best offense in the country. With Malachi Tony, Darren Mensah coming in and Mark Fletcher staying, and then Crystal Ball being an O-line guy, trenches guy. He's gonna have them ready. We all know that. You play offensive line. You know how important the offensive line is, obviously. But Crystal Ball is also gonna have a great defense. Always. You have a young secondary from last year that now has the playoff experience to come run it back. Then you replace your D line. You pull in a couple transfers, a couple of high major transfers actually, and then your linebacking core remains mostly the same. So looking forward to another good year for Miami.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You go.
No, go ahead.
I think, like you said, Belcher and McCallie, they're a good team. They're very focused. Like, the O-line's good. Everyone's good. It's all good. But Miami has a very bad track record of losing games like they shouldn't lose. Yeah. 2 years ago, Georgia Tech, I believe, lose to them in wild fashion. Virginia last year, you kind of have these games where it's kind of like, why are they losing this game? Like, this is an easy win for them. So that's my only thing. Again, like you said, they have a good run game, which I feel like any good team has to have. explosive playmakers on both sides of the ball, and just can you limit those really bad losses to the point of it's not going to hurt you when the end of the season comes and you got a ranking and trying to get into playoffs. That's all I got.
Absolutely.
I think the only thing I just want to add real quick, you guys. I think the only thing you guys missed was that Cooper Barcate needs a lot. I think he needs more respect. I think he's gonna. I mean, he's coming with Mensa, so the connection's already there. And I mean, looking at his stats, he's 72 catches for 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns last year. So I mean, he was second in the ACC in yards and tied second for touchdowns. So I mean, you got to
You
put some
followed
respect
him?
on the guy's name. He was a Harvard. He came out of Harvard. He's a Harvard product.
Wow. Okay.
He followed Mensa to Miami?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And certainly, yeah.
Little white
Certainly,
boy magic.
Miami. I believe there'll be a lot.
The white boy flow.
There'll be a lot to make the playoffs this year, in my opinion. But moving on to another premier conference, arguably the toughest conference to win out of all 5 of the Power 5 conferences, the SEC. And we know this is probably, if not, the SEC hasn't been, as competitive as they once were in recent years out of conference play. Many have questioned if they're still the best conference in college football, because obviously they're also probably feeling the disrespect from the NCAA, and they potentially want to form their own league, which is pretty crazy to me and pretty much ridiculous. But there's about 5 to 6 teams that can absolutely win the SEC conference this year. But who do we think is going to be in that game, and who do we think is going to win the conference?
I'll go first.
Oh, yeah, let's go first.
Because my take's a little hot in my opinion. But like McCallie said, hit on the head. There's like five teams that you could say are going to go to the championship and win it, and both have their pros, both have their cons. For me, I think it's all about just who's returning the most and how much of that is good talent and not just developing talent. So I think Oklahoma's going to win it just because of just everything they have. John Myers, they're bringing back offensive linemen who played last year, which their offensive line was already good. You say something, Belcher?
No. Continue. You're talking about John McTeer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Have I been saying Mater? Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to do that.
No, you're fine because I was like thinking in my head, don't say Mater. Don't say Mater. I always call him that. But again,
you were there too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, cut it short. A good wide receiver room, offensive line that was already good from the last season and gaining experience from that. And their run game was pretty good, kind of carried them when the quarterback got hurt. So then you got to figure out new ways to play the game. I believe there was a quote that he said that he was throwing with like 2 fingers with how he felt. So when he's fully healthy, he was a Heisman favorite. And I think he's going to be a dark horse for the Heisman this year as well. So I think Oklahoma's going to win it all.
I'm not a believer in Oklahoma, at least for winning the SEC, but I think you missed their top unit. They have a top 5 defense, no doubt.
Oh, Venables is always ready.
The defense is always going to be a good thing. Oklahoma's always had a good defense. It's just that their offense can match it.
I think people don't realize, you could say Dabo is missing out because he doesn't use the portal, this and that, and whatever. He hasn't been the same since he lost Venables.
Mm-hmm.
When he lost Venables, they started going downhill. Yeah, I know with college football landscape changed and they moved to a portal. And he hasn't.
Who lost Venables? What were we saying? Who lost?
Clemson. He was a DC at Clemson.
Oh yeah. Well, not only did they lose Venables, I mean they just simply aren't keeping up with the college football landscape right now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't use the transfer portal. They think it's like 2016. But go on what you're saying. Go on.
No, yeah, that's basically what I was saying. But I mean, to move on to my pick, I love Texas this year and think they don't have much of a weakness. Think they groomed Arch for this. This is his year. I think last year was more of just to get him ready, get him acclimated. I mean, we saw him; he started balling out, but he still had no line. And I know they fixed that and they replaced the backfield and got themselves a run game. But I'm still have to go with Georgia. I mean, they're bringing back 8 guys on defense, and I think defense wins championship in the SEC, and we've seen that time and time again. I mean, they still got Gunnar Stockton, Frazier, and Lucky coming back on offense, so that'll be enough to get them over. But I mean, that defense was elite last year. I'm pretty sure they averaged like 16 points a game allowed, and I mean to bring back 8 guys out of 11, it's pretty solid. So
Yeah,
That's really solid.
absolutely. That's my pick. Shay hit a nail in the coffin. I just think that Arch was he started the year bad for sure, but he was inexperienced. He probably had about what 3 or 4 starts prior to that year before he was a full time starter, and his first ever start as the full time starter was against probably the best defense in college football last year on the road. Um, so once he got more acclimated, he played a lot better down the stretch. He to me was, if not the better dual threat quarterbacks in college football last year. And also the offensive line wasn't very good last year as well. So if the offensive line plays better, especially when they have new skill position players in the transfer portal, after in the running back room, especially bringing Cam Coleman, who is what top 3 recruit in 2024, the Jeremiah Smith draft class, and draft class, excuse me, recruiting class. I'm not saying draft class. Recruiting class, alongside Ryan Williams. Um, he's in a better situation, and Arch is probably the best quarterback he's ever played with in college football so far. And way better schemes. Sark is to me one of the best offensive scheme coaches in all of college football, in my opinion. Gets the most out of his quarterbacks as well. We know this. So I believe that Texas will win the will win the SEC conference this year. I'm going to say they play against LSU. Lane Kiffin to me is as much as Sark how good he is. I think Lane's a better coach. I think Lane Kiffin's a top 5 coach, in college football. Took an Ole Miss team, that was his team before he left, to a playoff berth, right? They were about a couple seedings away from being in the SEC championship game last year before he left the program. And he gets the most out of his players as well. Gets the most out of his quarterbacks. I mean, he took a guy that was playing Division II football, made him, into one of the best college football quarterbacks in the season last year. And Trinidad Chambliss, who came into the season, by the way, being the backup, came into the season being a backup.
He was the backup.
Took over the
Austin Simmons
when Austin Simmons got hurt, and then he made Trinidad Chambliss look like an absolute top 5 quarterback in the country last year. And that scheme that they were using when Lane was even gone still propelled them to about a quarter away from the national championship. So I believe Lane Kiffin, he gets the most of his players. Before Trinidad, even Jackson Dart, him as well. They obviously, I think LSU this year, Levitt was very good. Not last year. He wasn't that amazing last year, but the year prior at ASU, they made the playoffs. One drive away from in overtime from beating Texas. And I think I'm pretty sure they were the number 1 recruiting class in the transfer portal this year.
LSU?
I believe so, right?
Yes,
they were the number 1 transfer portal class.
Mm-hmm.
And Lane gets the most out of his players. They're bringing in that offensive staff from Ole Miss to LSU. If they play well, I'm telling you guys, if they play well, they will be in the championship game. I was going back and forth between LSU and Georgia because simply you can't deny Kirby Smart. But I believe if LSU plays well, I believe they will be in the championship game against Texas. I think Texas is going to win that game.
Interesting. Personally, I think Texas. I think it'll be one of these 3 teams, and I'll definitely pick a team out of these 3. But I believe it's going to be LSU, Ole Miss, or Texas. For the sole fact that behind LSU, Ole Miss was the second rated transfer portal class with 29 commits, including 12 4-star commits. So I feel like with all that turnover, then you give that to Golding, who's a first year head coach, but unironically has experience because of the aforementioned Lane Kiffin just leaving in the middle of the playoffs.
Right.
I think that little run gave him an experience of like, all right, this is what I have to do as a head coach in these situations. If you're starting out in the playoff, the regular season should be a lot easier to be acclimated to because you're used to these high pressure decisions that you got to make in the moment of your season's on the line. If you call the wrong play, if you flip the run left or right, or you call the wrong defensive scheme on a different when you're supposed to call on a different down and distance, that your season could be done. All it takes is one play. So I feel like him getting a taste of that in the playoff is going to prepare him for his season. Plus, with all these transfers, I think he's going to have them ready. I think Ole Miss is going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Okay.
And
I
unfortunately, I just don't think they're as good as Texas. I don't think they're as good as Texas, but I think they're very close.
quick side note, real quick. Just want to put a statement out there. I know people have talked about the recency bias of Big Ten football and everything, how they win national championships.
Mhm.
But just to mention
Mhm.
that you guys just mentioned 6 teams in the SEC that could potentially win the championship, and I think there's about 3 that can win the Big Ten. Just want to mention that there's no Saturday walk in the park in
I'm gonna go
SEC
4.
football.
I'm gonna go for Big Ten. I'd say 4. I'd say 4.
Well, we'll
I
see
just
when we
think
get
that
there, but there's no
hold-
walks in the park in the SEC. Going
No,
down,
I agree.
for
no,
example, you
no,
go
no,
into
absolutely
Knoxville.
not. Yeah.
You
But
go into Knoxville
Can
for
I
a
say
checker
one
game.
thing? Can I say one thing? Have
Tennessee's
y'all
open.
seen Texas' schedule?
It's not that bad. It's not that bad, to be
It's
honest.
not that bad, but for a team this good, you think you want to play more than just, I think, was it 4 ranked teams I saw? I might have
Yeah, I mean,
been
Five,
mistaken
five,
here.
we
five,
should.
It's 5. It's 5 ranked
five.
teams.
Yeah.
Still, if you're this good, why are you playing against North Texas Bobcats? I think it's their first
Well, I
game.
think
If
that's
I'm
just
not
what the
mistaken.
SEC
Texas
does.
State.
They want. They
Texas
want to.
State, man. Put some
Texas
respect
State.
on Texas State. That's an in-state game. What do you mean?
Hold on. Hold on.
No, and they have another in-state game against Shay's UTSA Roadrunners on
That's
week
what
3.
I'm
Actually,
saying.
Here's my thing.
that's a high-powered offense.
Their schedule is pretty like damn near ridiculous. I mean, Ohio State, Tennessee, Red River, Florida, Ole Miss, Missouri's underrated in my opinion. A&M, they play them every year, and then LSU on the road. That's tough. But to me, I just think they're
It's a tough
talented.
schedule.
That's a tough schedule. It is. Yes, the SEC. We did say they are probably a 4 or 5 deep team that can win a national championship, but I just don't think they're that great and out of conference play anymore. Like they're just not great in bowl games. They just simply aren't. That's just a fact. I think
Mhm.
when you see Indiana, I mean, I'm not saying Alabama's that great either, but they blew them out the gates. That wasn't even a game. Um, Ohio State, they
Mhm.
beat 2 SEC teams in their playoff run to win a national championship. Uh, like
True. That is.
like Georgia, just simply they're not that great in bowl games. The past 2 years, they haven't even won a playoff game. And it was the same bowl game. They lost 2 years in a row in the same game against different opponents. So like they're just not that great in bowl games.
Well, I mean, perfect. I think perfect example of this is you look at South Carolina. They're about 12th in the conference, and they have one of the best quarterbacks in the country, probably first round.
Yeah, but they're
Solid.
so poorly. They're so their coach isn't a schematics guy. He's
Yeah,
a recruiter. He's a nice guy. He's a
I'm
player's
just saying that's a guy that can go out and throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns and beat you.
Yeah, but
True.
I
Coaching
don't.
or not coaching.
In the set, coaching matters. Maybe not the nitty gritty details of how to coach like a player, like from point A to point B, because you're already getting these really good players. It's just more scheming against the other coach and knowing like what's the best game plan for that team.
Mhm.
We've seen it with South Carolina where they've blown leads or they've Texas A&M. They blew a 30-point lead, I believe.
Mhm.
That's bad.
No, yeah,
That
no, yeah.
is
South Carolina did blow a 30-point lead against Texas A&M. Yeah, I
that
know.
was
So-
ridiculous.
that's ridiculous. And I just want to say one more thing about Texas. How many Big Ten teams are they playing this season?
Texas, they're playing one. Ohio
Ohio
State.
State.
One.
At home.
So you might say, yeah, it's. I think the Big Ten has a lot better teams than the SEC. I will say that now. And I think trying to go playing the gauntlet of the Big Ten is a lot harder than playing the gauntlet of the SEC by
Yes.
just the difference between the two.
I would just say this. I
Right.
think the SEC is a harder conference to win, but I think the Big Ten they're better in
More
bowl games.
dominant. Yeah, they're just more dominant, the Big Ten.
And they're just more, they're just
They're
better in
top
bowl
heavy.
games. Yeah.
It's
they're
because the
top
way
heavy.
they play. It's because majority of Big Ten teams will run you through the ground and will keep you under 21 points. Honestly, like 17, 21 points will keep you under. So that's a recipe to win football anywhere. A lot of SEC teams rely too much on one side of the ball, I feel like. And I
Yeah,
feel like that hurts you in bowl games because when you face up against
Iowa-
a top 10 team,
Iowa hasn't had a top 100 offense since 1910, or since George Washington was riding horses. I mean,
But-
come on.
but
that
they
is
still
true.
put tight ends and offensive linemen in the NFL. And they also always have a top 25 defense. Always.
But they'll
All
never
right, let's
be
move
good
on.
enough.
This
They'll
is
never
just-
be good enough.
We're running down a rabbit hole. We're going down a
All right.
rabbit hole.
Anyways,
Next segment
Tory Taylor.
provided by the SEC.
Hunter's better, too.
Did we already mention? We didn't say the Big Ten.
Yes.
Right? Speaking of the Big Ten,
Yeah.
who do we think is going to win the Big Ten this year?
Indiana. It's their conference to lose. The formula of having an experienced quarterback surrounded by other experienced players that have severe talent, that seems like a recipe that's been working for Signetti wherever he's been. You bring in Nick Marsh, very good receiver. You return Becker, who's a really good wide receiver too. You bring in Josh Shrew from TCU. He's a very experienced quarterback. And the defense is, you already know what the defense is going to be. It's Kurt Signetti. You know he's going to find guys who are going to hunt the football, ball hawks, and people are going to get after the quarterback and stop the run. And I feel like with all the experience, that's a great recipe for success.
You know what's interesting about Charlie Becker? That dude runs about like 2 routes a game. And on those 2 routes, he's damn near unstoppable. It's
Yeah.
actually like ridiculous.
Mhm.
Um,
Fades and slants.
but I'm gonna go with. I'll probably go with Indiana. I think I said Ohio State before. We recorded this.
Mhm.
I'm gonna switch it to Indiana. I think Ohio State just lost a lot of talent. They lost like about 7 draft picks. Saying to me is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Jeremiah Smith to me is the best talent in the country. I think Indiana's just better coached. Ohio State lost Brian Hartline. The receiver who's very good recruiter, like we mentioned before, very good in developing receivers as well. And it basically came down to the last minute before they almost lost Chris Henry Jr. Was the best receiver in high school last year in the recruiting class. So yeah, I'm simply gonna say Indiana. I'm gonna say Indiana because just simply their coaching staff is just way too good. They always seem very well they always seem very well coached in every game, and I think they're going to win the conference.
I'm going to use Belcher's take against him. He said experienced quarterback play with high power offense and great coaching leads to success.
Mhm.
That's just describing Oregon to me. With Dante Moore coming back,
No.
with all the weapons they have, with
I don't hate that.
I mean, listen, I don't think they're going to win it outright. They're not going to blow people out of the water with everything they have, but they will win games just off of experience of playing hard teams, which I think has been kind of lost in schedule making. When you have Dante Moore, that his experience plus just they lost a few draft picks on offense, but again, with the amount of NIL experience and just overall just charisma that the coaching staff has to recruit players to Oregon, they're going to replace those. So I think that plus the defense was good. You'll say some people will say like
whole D line's back.
yeah, but I'm saying the secondary, which in my opinion needed some work. You had a whole season to get that better. So D line's coming back,
And they
but
picked up
secondary's
Corey
getting
Parrish
better.
from Minnesota.
Yes.
I was
I also
gonna say
want
it.
I
I'm
also
trying to
want to throw
remember
in
his name.
Aaron Scott Jr., Ohio State corner, transferred to Oregon, and
Yeah.
he's very good too.
Going back to the coaching, Dan Lanning won me over last year when they beat Penn State in the whiteout. I don't know
That
if you guys saw his quote in the locker room. Did you guys see that clip?
I
When he
have
said
seen the clip. I forgot what he said.
Yeah,
yeah.
he was
I've
saying
definitely
that
seen
there's
it.
like he was saying there's gonna be 100,000 people wearing white tonight that aren't gonna do shit. They're just gonna
Yeah,
be a white
not
canvas,
yeah.
and we're gonna go paint our fucking masterpiece. I mean, that's
Bars.
like
That's a bar,
Hard, yeah.
dude.
Here's my thing.
part of my excuse
I
my
think
language, but my brand of football is fuck you football. That's my
Yeah.
thing. I want to run
here,
it right down your throat, and here it comes.
here's my thing with Lanning. I think Dan Lanning is an awesome recruiter. Awesome recruiter. I think he's an awesome motivator. And to me, yes, in that Penn State game, he absolutely dropped his nutsack. They went for it, I think, like 5 or 6 times in that game. It felt like they were going for it like every drive. But I just feel like to me, in big games, other than that game, I'm not a believer in him in the big games. Certainly, Penn State is the exception. Um, they lost to Indiana twice. The second Indiana game wasn't even a game. After the first drive, it wasn't even a game.
No.
I will say,
That's like
I
six.
do believe Dan Lanning has always been able to outcoach, um, you know, Ohio State and be able to be Ohio State, but it's really not that hard to do against them because I just, I'm
I
not.
still think the 12 men on the field penalty was one of the more underappreciated things last year that he did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a when he took that 5-yard penalty, but for 4 seconds or whatever it was, 5 seconds off the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
One thing I would like to say that I think was very like no one really talks about. Might be because I'm an offensive lineman, but there was a fourth down late in the game, and the crowd's wild, all that, and you can't hear the quarterback say hike, so you have to have one of the guards slap the knee or just slap the center to snap
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
During one of those plays, they kind of acted like they didn't know what they were doing on the offensive line, screaming there, doing something else, like waving their hands. And between that confusion, it kind of confused the defense, saying, oh, they're not ready. We can do our stuff. And then the guard tapped the center's knee and they snapped it, and the defense was wildly unprepared. The amount of
Right.
preparation you have to give into that so that all the offensive linemen understands on whatever signal they got to snap the ball and they all went on, then no one went off sides is crazy. Also, Dan Lanning's been at Oregon for 4 years. He hasn't been there for an entire, like, this is his 4th year, and these are his seniors. These are the people he recruited to Oregon now. And he got transfers and all that. So if this year isn't better than last year, then I'll start doubting Dan Lanning. But I think it's
this is
pretty good
definitely
right now.
the team. This is the team for him. Yeah,
I
This
agree.
has to be the team for him.
I'm just certainly. I mean, he has the best quarterback in the nation. You can make a case that if he never returned, to be a way different story.
future Jet, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dan Lanning is an awesome recruiter, awesome motivator. Like I said before, he's always been able to like outcoach Ryan Day, but that's certainly that's not hard to do. We all know that's not hard to do.
Ryan Day is most overrated coach in college football.
Yeah,
Conversation for another day.
That's not hard to do. They could certainly win the conference. This is probably, like you guys are correct. This is the team for them to make a deep playoff run, but they've always been made. They've always, last year they were certainly in that deep run mix. But I don't know. I'm just not like a fan. I always think Oregon, to me, they've always had great rosters, amazing jerseys, amazing players, but they're in the big game. They're just like,
And that's why McCallie, their logo is a big zero.
yeah, it's
Because they haven't won anything. They can prove they can get it there. They haven't proved they want. Indiana has proven in less time with
that's what I'm
less
saying.
historically great rosters that they can win.
That's
Kirstie
what I'm
Manny
saying.
wins. He said, Google him. You know how much balls you have to have? Say at a major Power 5 press conference, Google me
No, I
on your
agree.
first interview?
I agree. And I'm saying, I think
Like,
they've always been able to get there. They have. They have. They've shown they've gotten there. They've shown they can recruit. They've shown they can retain the rosters. They've shown they can win 10, 11 games. But when they get to those matchups, it's a different story. Like Ohio State blew them out of the waters. Indiana blew them out of the waters.
mm,
Like it's just like I'm just like even 3 years ago when they had Bo Nix and that ridiculous team,
mhm,
they lost to Washington twice.
mhm.
And on the road and in the Pac-12 championship game.
Wait, let's not disrespect that Washington team, though. That's Michael
No,
Penix,
that
Roman
team was good.
Dunze with
That's
Buffalo
That team was
yeah.
good.
Denzel Boston.
Oregon was just as good as them. They were just as good as them.
True.
They
True.
were just as good as them.
But
And
that Washington team finished Final Four that year. I
no,
believe.
I know. But Oregon was just as good as them.
Yeah.
They've always been very, very good. Very good. I'm not a huge believer. Have never just been a huge believer.
Mhm.
So
Can you say they're just as good as them if they beat them twice? Is that
What do you
really
mean?
like an argument?
That
Like
Oregon
you're saying Oregon is just as good as Washington.
and
and
both
with
of
They
those games
beat
were
them twice.
close. And Oregon was like top 5 in college football that year.
they were.
They were, but still lost twice to Washington.
In very
One
close,
loss.
dramatic games.
True.
I mean, it took
Yeah,
Oregon. They
but
missed
no
the
one
field
really
goal.
gives a shit about if you scored 60 points if you still lost.
I understand that, but
That's what I'm saying. Like
I understand. But the first game in Washington, they lost by a missed field goal. That's the reason why they lost. And Bo Nix hooped in that game.
Hmm.
The Pac-12 game, like Bo Nix did not play that well, but they were still in that game.
Hmm.
So
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not a huge believer in them. They're just big game dilemmas. They're just
You know,
not that great in big games.
That's not hard to say.
Speaking of the big game, what are your guys' playoff predictions? I'm curious.
Like who's making it in or just the winner, like the
Like-
champions?
Like your 12 teams. I got 12 here. I got 12.
I was going for a national champion, but all right.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
got 12 here. I got playoff predictions. I got Indiana, Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, Miami, Ole Miss, BYU, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and LSU, and USF. That's my group of 5 team.
That's not a bad. That's not a bad 12.
Now, I feel like the champion of this. I mean, it's hard to bet. Like, dude, I don't know why, but something's telling me Ole Miss. So Ole Miss or Indiana's title to lose. It's just hard for me to bet against Indiana.
It's hard to go back to back in this landscape.
It is. But I like it. I got a feeling. You know?
It's really hard to like say who's going to win the national championship this early because you never know what's going to happen during a season. Who gets hurt? Who wins what game? Who messes up on a 4th down that costs the season? It's kind of tough. Old Miss, Pete Goldman coached 3 games and won 2 of them against Tulane. I would like to say that. Tulane, who was in the playoffs. Georgia, which was a good team, and then lost to Texas.
And that Texas game was a very good game.
It was a good game, but still lost. So what's telling me from that is they're good, can be great, but in those big moments, they might lose. And I mean, listen, it was Lane Kiffin's offense. It was Lane Kiffin's team.
But Lane Kiffin wasn't there.
Yes,
I
but
think.
that's like saying, yeah, I gave you all the ingredients. That meant
Yeah,
I
that's
baked
it.
the
Yeah,
cake,
Ole Miss-
not you.
No,
Ole Miss
no, the perfect example
was a
is in like
possession away from beating Miami to go play Indiana in the national championship. They were
yeah,
a
but the
possession
perfect
away.
example is like back in 3rd grade when the teacher was out for the day and the substitute came in and the teacher left the plans. It's the lesson still got taught. The plans
Yeah,
are there.
exactly.
That's a better
You were
example.
just there. You were just
He
a
was
body.
just there. And you can't tell me that Chamberlain didn't make plays outside himself to win some of those games.
No,
Pete
yeah,
Golden didn't really have like the greatest game plan to like outscore these like teams.
Well,
Some
Pete
You
Golden.
and I mean, people could say that he game planned for him, Pete Golding or whatever, but I think a lot of people don't realize that these game plans are set weeks ahead. These like they don't do this. They don't start Monday.
Yeah.
There's teams behind the scenes doing this weeks out, planning for every team that potentially they could play. It's not a oh shit, we need a game plan in 2 days.
Mhm.
There's 50 people working in the front office doing that already.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, my initial 12, I don't have like an initial 12 right on me off the bat.
So I said 12. I got a little excited.
But if I were to go initial overall 12, I think I already had my conference champion teams. I said Texas would to me would be the overall 1 seed. Uh, I would say like Indiana's 2. I would say 3 would be BYU. I think. Wait, no, excuse me. Sorry, hold on. Miami would be 3. Miami would be 3, and I think I'm going to say Oregon's 4. I'm going to say Oregon gets a bye, and Big 12 does not. Big 12 is not going to bye.
Mm.
I think BYU's at 5. I think BYU's at 5. I'm going to say there's 2 SEC schools, so I'll say LSU and Ole Miss. So that's 7. I need 2 more. I'll throw Oklahoma in there. At
Over Ole
8.
Miss?
Actually, no,
I just don't.
let me
I
let me,
have
let me go Ole
two.
Miss. Let me see. Yeah, I'll change. I'll say Ole Miss. 8. I'm missing 2 more, right? I'll say Ohio State is in there.
BYU. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, because they'll make it if they just.
They're making it regardless, dude. It's literally a
they're
rule.
making it
I think that's the
regardless.
stupidest rule I've ever seen in my life. That like, just schedule better people. That's all you have to do. You have the freedom to schedule whoever you want.
Or just join a conference.
Or yeah, or that. Or just join a conference. Join the ACC. That would be
I
a
think,
perfect conference for Notre Dame.
I think the perfect conference would be the Big Ten.
I think we should have Shea take over for Notre Dame because he has the Fighting Irish in his background. I think I want to hear his take on Notre Dame.
So, yeah. So I've said that it's Oregon's team. This is the team. I said Texas has no holes. Said Georgia was gonna win this and that, whatever. But we were talking about conferences, and that leads me to my national champion, Notre Dame. I mean, I'm a big motivation guy. I think motivation's a huge thing. That whole team has to be pissed off. Every day they have to be coming in thinking we got left out. We were ready to go out and practice and we got left out. And I really think that I was watching a show the other day and the guy made a point. He said, the only thing for Notre Dame is the question mark is CJ Carr that guy? And to me, he is. I think he has that mentality. We saw him nearly bring him back against Texas A&M, and he nearly brought him back against Miami. I mean, he basically did that single-handedly. We showed. I mean, that was also in his first year.
That was his first.
But
The Miami game was his first start.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing.
He was a freshman last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is Mike Denbrock, the OC. In his second year, when he had his second year with Jaden Daniels won the Heisman. Since coming to Notre Dame, he had Riley Leonard for a year, and this is his first second-year quarterback. And I think we're really going to see a big leap with CJ Carr with 2 years under him. That's my thing. And I mean, also the receiving core was not that great last year.
It was not.
I know we lost both running backs, 2 first-round running backs, but they did bring in 2 Ohio State transfers, Mylan Graham and Quincy Porter, and they also bring back Faison and Greathouse. So I mean, that's a pretty to have 4 solid receivers will definitely help.
Yeah, no, Notre Dame only brought in 7 transfers, but there were 7 really good transfers, really good transfers, all from major Power 5 schools or Power 5 conferences. Like you mentioned, Miles Graham, the Ohio State transfer, Porter, and then they got Jaden Sanders from Michigan coming in. He's a 4-star. You know, I don't know.
I mean, I also think they have the best defensive player in the country.
It's there. Recipe is there.
when you
I mean, you
think
could
of
obviously argue against that, but I definitely think he's the best defensive player in the country. He's going to be a top 10 pick
Who?
unanimously.
Who?
Leonard Moore.
Yeah. Oh, top 5. He's better than
Yeah.
Mansour Delane was this year for
yeah,
LSU.
Yeah.
Watch his tape.
Yeah.
If you watch his, oh man, I remember I saw a video about him like a week or two ago, and I just took the time and just looked up on YouTube Leonard Moore tape. He's going up against that guys like Jacoby Lane, Makai Lemon, like holding them to one catch for like 5 yards, and it's on a
yeah.
quick slant or a quick out or on a screen pass where he gets absolutely just blindsided. But he navigates screen passes. I can go on about Leonard Moore for the next 30 minutes, but just know he's that guy. He is that.
Absolutely, he is. Absolutely, he is. You know another thing? I love Marcus Freeman. Like he's my favorite coach in college football right now. Like I always watched like his pregame speeches and his postgame speeches.
Crazy
They get me
overrated.
going. They get me going. But Shay, I agree with everything you said. CJ Carr could be an absolute top 5, could be a Heisman finalist this year. If everything goes right for them. You know, obviously they lose their running back production. You know, with their 2 backs going round 1 this past draft, but like you said, they revamped the entire receiving room. Their offensive lines are always amazing as well. Defensively, those guys are always ready. And you got to be right. This team has to be pissed off because the fact that they made the playoffs because of the one game in August to me is crazy. I think if you replaced Miami and Notre Dame last year in the playoffs, I think Notre Dame wins it. I do. Um, you know, obviously they weren't as good as Ohio State was in the championship game 2 years ago, but I think last year's team could have very much won the national championship if they played against Indiana. I think I would have picked Notre Dame to beat Indiana, in my opinion. Um, but I agree with everything you said. This team could absolutely go on and win the national championship. To me, I think sometimes it is unfair as a fan to be like they're an automatic to make the playoffs if they win like 10 straight games and they're already going to make it. But yeah, that team can absolutely go on and win it.
I think both of everyone hit the nail on the head with everything about players, coaches, all that. The thing I will say is if they were so angry they didn't get into the playoffs, they didn't do this, why didn't they play? Like, why did they just give up at the end of the season? I mean, fired.
Well, I mean,
like,
what was in it for them? I mean,
develop
it's
talent.
Like, it's almost
work on some stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
How are you going to
develop for
ask
next
a player
year
to come out and play? How are you going to ask a player to come out and play off devastation? Yeah, I
Not only
think
that,
about the
it's like,
seniors. Think about some of the seniors who didn't get
hold on.
that
Not
final
only-
game.
Not only that, Freeman and the guys like I coached this time, they went to the players like, "Do you guys want to play in the bowl game?" They're like, "No, we don't want to." Because
That leads me to my next point. They don't want that shit. If I'm a football player, I want to play my last game if I just got pissed off. If I just said, "Hey, you're not good enough to play football anymore. Sorry." I want to play another game and just be like, "Fuck you. I'm better than what you think I am."
okay,
Just for and then just for the draft aspect,
okay, but
just get another game of film.
You already have what, 11 to 12 game sample size. So like another thing, it's like what's more devastating? Like
what happens after that though?
No,
like you said, you had 11, 12 game sample size. What happens when you get in the playoffs and it gets tougher? You got to play at the Oklahoma.
But here's my point. If you're a senior on the team, what is more important to you? Like playing, you know, one game in the fucking, I don't know, the Citrus Bowl,
the Independence Bowl or something.
The Independence Bowl against some like, you know, inferior opponent, or making the playoffs, do or die moment as a senior, potentially going out and winning a national championship, and with your brothers in a do or die elimination game like that. The thrill of that is just alone better than playing in like a bowl game that nobody's going to care about in 5 years and be like, "Oh my God, did you remember when Notre Dame played fucking Clemson in the Citrus Bowl?"
Well,
like, you know,
not only that, but remember when Florida State missed the playoffs and they
Yeah.
had to play that bowl game, and they played Georgia and got 63-3, got their ass handed to them because they had about 21
Yes.
guys and 11 of them had half a leg.
Mhm.
That would have been the same situation.
Yeah, their
Nobody was gonna
quarterback
play.
literally snapped his leg in 3 different ways like 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
So
And that was more
just-
devastating because they knew that. I mean, they probably were still hoping to make the playoffs, but they probably knew in that situation, it's like they're not going to make it because they don't have their quarterback.
Mhm.
And two, like
that could be
so
debatable.
unfortunate.
That's a debate topic we can go on for another.
He
30
broke
minutes.
his leg against some like Division II football team.
Okay.
that day.
Than
That's
any
so
other
unfortunate.
team when Georgia, when what's his name? I can't remember his name. When the Georgia quarterback
Stetson Bennett.
Bennett when no. When
Carson
Stockton
Beck.
came in
Carson
for the
Beck.
game. When Carson Beck got hurt and they have Stockton Gunn come in for the game to run it for to play that game. And does that mean Georgia's out now? Like,
No, because they won. They won.
okay,
All right.
But
This
that
is
doesn't
just
really
all
matter.
topic. We gotta come back to where we.
We're on a tangent.
Yeah,
Like,
they
we're just
won
going
the
we
down
go on
game.
tangents. We go on
All right.
tangents.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to the next segment of the final.
Talking about
no,
goddamn
actually, no, it's not the final
2023
segment.
Florida State. It's 2026, fellas. Come on.
All right, we'll go on to everyone's. This is such a hard thing to predict, in my opinion. It could be very random. We don't know, but obviously, there's always preseason finalists that come out every year. Who do we all think is going to win the Heisman this year in this season? To me, it's very random. Like, we could predict like this guy will win it or this guy, but a guy from Indiana will win the Heisman or a guy from Colorado will win the Heisman. So I feel like it's kind of hard to predict these, but we will still do it anyways.
I'll just start off. I mean, I basically hit all the points already. I'm going to go CJ Card just for the fact it's Notre Dame football. It's big television. It's NBC. And I mean, they're not playing anybody, so he could easily put up 300 yards. I honestly think the only way stopping him from getting to it is if he doesn't play fourth quarters of every game, because with their schedule, they should have multiple games that are won by 3-4 touchdowns, and he shouldn't be in the game in the fourth quarter. I think that's the only thing that could stop him from getting there, honestly, because there's really nobody on the schedule that should hold him under 200 yards. And I mean, in the big spotlight, it's kind of hard to lose the Heisman when you're 11-1, 12-0, whatever, 10-2, and you're putting up 300 yards a game. Say, yeah, I mean, I don't know how that's not a Heisman winner, but
Yeah.
Respectable. I feel like it's Dante's more. I think it's his award to lose. I think you come back for a reason. You know what I mean? He was going to be a top 3 pick. You can say the conspiracy. You can throw jokes. He didn't want to play for the Jets. But in all reality, if you're going to make that big of a decision to stay, if you're going to make that big of a decision to stay, it has to be worth it for something. You know what I mean? And I think he's one of, if not the most experienced and talented quarterbacks in all college football. We know what Oregon is. They have a great run game surrounded by fast, long, athletic receivers and a great defensive back behind them. I feel like if Oregon stays under 1 loss, if they go undefeated or have 1 loss, I believe he wins the Heisman.
I don't hate that take at all. I'm gonna go with Arch Manning. I think if he plays extremely well in SEC football, if we saw what he can do at the end of the season last year, he takes that and makes that a full season with an SEC schedule, winning the conference championship. That to me will be it. I think he'll to me will be the Heisman.
not only that, they already have MANN sketched into the Heisman Trophy because of his last name. So I mean,
Yeah.
does he need that
And
much of a resume?
He'll also be the only Manning to win the Heisman because Payne was.
There you go. You already sound like the script
Yeah.
writers. There you go.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
You got it. Too.
Because I watched that 30 for 30. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It's the one with him and Charles Woodson. Because he came back to Tennessee to win the Heisman and to beat Florida, and he didn't do both. So that sucks. But I think he'll be the only Manning to win the Heisman. So yeah, that's my take.
I'm gonna agree with McCallie here. I think just with there's a lot of things that can go into it. Like he said, it's who gets injured, who has a really good season, who plays tougher opponents than the other team. It's all that. But I think Arch Manning, with the schedule that they have, especially against, I did make some, like, I did say some of the games are kind of cupcake, but they are playing a Big Ten team plus the SEC. And I mean, listen, they win most of those games. I rather, and like put up good numbers, I rather they take that resume over a CJ Carr who played not that best competition. And if he's out of the game during the fourth quarter, is that really a Heisman worthy candidate? Or is that just being favored by the schedule?
I mean, you make a good
Interesting.
point.
I
You make
like
a good
that.
point.
I like that. But I just don't believe Arch. I think Arch is like a Brock Purdy. He's not going to elevate your team, but I don't think he's going to hurt the Longhorns this season. And I think when you throw in his mobility, I think that will help raise Texas's offensive floor. I think that will help too. But I just don't believe he can deliver in those big games, like make the big time throw or make the big time decision to throw it away or scramble, slide out of bounds, whatever. I just don't feel like he's ready for that. You know what I mean? But I feel like he will keep Texas in the top 5 of the country. But I just don't believe he's a Heisman candidate. Yeah, I just don't believe.
I mean, I understand that. Fair argument. But again, last season was his first actual starting season. Not behind anyone, not just taking snaps against shitty teams. That was his
True.
first real season. Now you
Mhm.
get a whole new offseason where he's experienced, understands those moments. And I mean, listen, it's a better team overall, in my opinion. So they might not win the entire like national championship, in my opinion, but he'll get his due during those games, in my opinion, with the team they have.
Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
hate that. I don't hate that. Um, we could be very wrong because the Heisman winner is so like it's such a random award.
Dude,
It
last
always
Like,
is.
year,
CJ
Cade Cupnett was in the conversation for
Yeah,
this.
like it's such
Like,
a random award.
Whoa. We're not going to disrespect Cade Klubnik. No, no,
oh,
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no.
Kate
We're
Is it?
not
Klubnik is
Is
going to
just.
be your starting quarterback
He's
for
a
the Jets by
dog.
week
No, no,
18
no,
right
no.
now. So
Cade
exactly,
Klubnik is a
exactly.
dog. I promise you that.
Okay, he
he's
may
going to
be a
be the Jets
dog, but I
quarterback,
mean,
Rich.
is he
He's
going
a
to
He
good
is
won't
he a
be a
quarterback.
fucking
dog in the NFL.
Rottweiler or is he a German Shepherd? Like what is it? What kind of dog
Nah,
is he?
he's a
He-
King Corso or a Mastador, bro. He's a
no,
dog.
no, he's a poodle.
I don't care. He's a dog.
He's a poodle.
I,
DAWG.
he's good, but like he wasn't a Heisman favorite. Like after
You know
week
when he's going to be a
2,
dog? When he beats the Bills in
Terrible
like week
situation.
17 and cost the Jets a top 5 draft pick and because he threw 300 yards and they get like the 8th pick.
Is he? Wait, is he actually gonna? Who's it? He won't start over Gino.
Gino. Gino.
we'll
Gino.
get
He
Bro,
we'll
won't
get
Gino
start
it
did
over
we'll
not
get
Gino
play
at
in
into
all
it.
during the
17
season.
We'll get
games.
into this. I got my
NFL's
own
next.
opinion
The
on
Gino did
NFL's
this.
not
next.
play
All right,
in
all right, all
17
right.
We'll get into this. We'll get
We'll
into
we'll
this.
get into it. We'll get into it.
Stop. Gino was terrible.
We'll get it. Calm
All
down.
right.
Calm down.
The final segment of the college football preview season, 2026 preview season, is who is the biggest. I feel like there's always a big surprise team in every season. Last year, obviously, Indiana. I mean, they weren't really a surprise team, but them going 16-0 was definitely a surprise. Year prior could be Indiana as well. The G5 schools, any player that's a surprise is always certainly something as well. But who do we think is that surprise underrated team coming into the 2026 season?
Michigan.
Wow. Okay.
I like Michigan. I think a lot of people wrote off Bryce Underwood too early. I
I mean,
think
it was a
you look at
freshman
Kyle
with
Whittingham.
18.
I know. I think, and people still wrote him off. A lot of people did because of his terrible passing stats. Which, when you watch the games, you know what Michigan is. They barely throw the football, barely, and they rely
Thing
on their defense. But
is,
I feel like with Whittingham, though, I feel like Whittingham. If you saw what he did with Devon Dampier at Utah. I think if he can get that out of Bryce Underwood, Michigan is going to surprise a lot of people. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
The thing is a tale as old as time that with a young quarterback, the run game helps it tremendously.
Mhm.
And Michigan is known for that run game, like you said. And that just opens up the game a lot more for a young quarterback. Because if you stack the box, now you get one-on-one coverages. And
Mhm.
yes, he's young. Yes, he's 18. But like, if you're that hyped up to be this generational talent, to start all 4 years, do all this and that, I think you got to be able to make those throws. And I mean, McCarthy, he wasn't the greatest
Yeah.
quarterback.
Bryce
He
Underwood
wasn't,
is
but
miles ahead of JJ McCarthy. Get the
JJ McCarthy is
ow.
ass, is what he is.
okay, but he
Okay.
still had good passing
I'm
stats.
not gonna disagree all the way with Lynch because JJ was actually not that bad at Michigan. He was a good game manager. Certainly not a guy that can elevate a team or elevate
I've had the
offense at
displeasure.
all. But he was
I've had the
good at
displeasure.
Michigan. He was. He was.
I've had the displeasure of watching JJ McCarthy at Michigan live, and I'll tell you right now, it was modest, very unimpressive,
No,
very.
I certainly agree with you, but like, I mean, he was just good for their system. He was a system quarterback. He's not going to elevate a team. He's not going to make a clutch drive or a game-winning throw, but he was the perfect guy for their system. They're going to run the ball. They're going to sit under center. They're going to play action. They're going to run under center. But yeah, I'm not sitting here. I'm not saying I wasn't impressed by his tape or film. I don't know how the fuck he ended up being a top 10 draft pick. But he was good at Michigan. I'm not going to sit here and be like he was like terrible there.
He was average, but
Yeah. He was
he's
an
the
above
Kirk Cousin
average quarterback.
of Jameis Winston's.
I wouldn't even say that. I would just say he's just more of like a
dude. He's stupid. The
Dude.
9 personality.
Man, I think Drew Lock. Drew Lock is
a Jameis Winston.
I'm just talking about college quarterback in general. I don't know how he went top 10. I just
Drew Lock was second round. Dude, Drew Lock.
We'll get to the NFL talk. We'll get to that. But who?
Drew Lock. What you know about Drew Lock?
Shay and Lynch. Who are you guys? We'll go Shay next. Who's your surprise team next?
So before I get into my pick, I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and then I'll get into my pick. I think I know your answer. No, it's a serious question, Lidge. I don't know what you're laughing about, but so what record does a Big Ten team need to get in the playoff, in your opinion?
11-1 to probably 10-2.
10-2, and depending on who the two are. And if it's
10-2,
it has to be lost.
10-2 is
Top
what I was
10
looking for.
Yeah, 10-2.
So 10-2 is what I was looking for. So with that being said, my pick has to be Penn State.
Okay,
I like that.
I knew you were going to say that team.
I like it. I mean, it's the entire Iowa State program going to be there. So
yeah, and Iowa State was a great team. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let me read you their schedule: Marshall, Temple, Buffalo, all wins. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get Wisconsin at home. That's 4-0. Northwestern is terrible. I just got reminded that Chip Kelly was even on the staff about 5 days ago when they posted the picture of him in the vest. I didn't even know. I forgot. Then they get USC. Okay, there's your first game. USC at home at Michigan. So there's 2 games right there. And their only other real big game, I would say, is at Washington. So if they take 1 out of those 3, that puts them at 10-2 if they clean up the other games that they have to. And that's 10-2 as a Big Ten team. I think that should backdoor you into the playoffs.
Where is the USC game?
Is it
home? It's the whiteout.
I think they lose that game. It's too early in the season.
No, I think they'll lose.
But that's what I'm saying. They have to take 1 out of the 3 games, and I think that's
but you really think
capable of doing that.
Penn State is going to beat Michigan?
No, I don't think.
I'm not saying they. What I'm saying is they can win 1 out of those 3. They could beat Washington. I'm not saying they're going to win all 3. I'm not saying they're going to win 2 out of 3, but they can win one of them.
Yeah, and to piggyback off what you said before, they brought in 21 transfers from Iowa State.
Yeah,
that Iowa State team was top 25.
They were good.
They were really good and very well coached. Matt Campbell been he's going to do some work with Penn State this year. I think
And
just
I
trying to
mean,
go back.
Penn State kept a lot of guys. They still have a lot of guys from the team. I mean, they have a pretty solid offensive line. They got a couple NFL caliber players on there. I mean, they brought in a kid from Ohio State, the running back, James
Mhm.
Peoples. They still got Darius Dixon on the defense, Zion Tracy, Tony Rojas. I mean, they still have a lot of key pieces from a team that was arguably the national championship favorite last year before it went off the tracks. So I mean,
Satisfying. Man.
that's
Yeah.
my pick.
That's fair.
So satisfying.
No,
All
absolutely.
right.
Liz,
This is
who's your
either
surprise?
going to be the greatest pick of my life, or this is
Oh,
just going
God.
to turn out terribly. This team was in contention with USF, with Navy, with Tulane towards the end of the season.
Thanks.
I think North Texas can backdoor themselves into the playoffs as well, and make a deep run. That was a high-powered offense.
I
And they
just
had a-
want to point out one thing. The head coach, starting quarterback, receiver, running back, all went to Oklahoma State.
Okay, fine.
Oh,
Fine.
he's a okay. I want to hear the rationale. Go ahead, explain yourself.
You still
It's only a
have
head coach and a quarterback. I mean, it's just whatever. Go ahead.
Okay. I can't remember what the new quarterback's name is. I just know it came with the
Mhm.
wait, the
Head
head
coach.
coach left.
Yeah.
Okay, so I might have done the wrong research because
This
I
might have
think
surprised
I-
Lidge.
Yeah, it might have surprised me.
You said surprise
Might
team.
have
What
surprised
team's
me.
going to surprise him?
Yeah, it did because I thought it was just the quarterback. I didn't know that.
Ah,
Oh man.
it's the North Texas
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take this one.
Oh
on
my
the chin.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good attempt. All right. My surprise team. Let me ask you a question. Out of the G5 schools, who do you think was the best G5 school last year in the playoffs?
In the playoffs?
Yes,
Oh,
last
it's
year.
kind of tough.
Who do you think was the best?
He's got to say JMU. I mean,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It can't be Tulane, dude.
It is Tulane.
Dude,
And
no.
Who is wait, it's not Tulane. You're not letting me finish. Who was Tulane's head coach?
Get the fuck out of here.
Summerall. He went to Florida.
And guess what? That's my surprise team. Florida is going to win near 8 to 9 games next year. They will be in the playoff race. I believe this guy is so underrated. Just him talking during the SEC media days, he's like, look, I mean, this is the SEC. Like I haven't earned the right to like talk and whatnot and give my analysis where the conference or where the league. He's like, we gotta win now. And let me just tell you this. Tulane, obviously, they got blown out. That's Ole Miss. Obviously, they got blown. This is his first time to be the SEC conference. But he's a dog. He is an absolute dog. And I do believe that Aaron Philo, he will be the starting quarterback, this year. And they were a top 30 transfer recruiting class this year, 18th overall in the high school recruiting rank. So it's overall close to a top 15 class, if you combine both transfers and the guys they got, in high school.
I just pulled up their depth chart. I'm praying that this is not their full roster because they have only 2 quarterbacks listed. And if that's the case, playing SEC football, they're going to be running out of punter by week 8.
No.
I'm praying that they have more than 2 quarterbacks.
I understand that. But I do believe this guy will have these guys absolutely ready in SEC football. And let me tell you this, that stadium is probably one of the toughest places to play in all of college football. I would say LSU is probably 1, A&M is 2, 3 is probably.
That is a
Neyland Stadium, man. Neyland. England,
Okay, I would say probably those three to me.
Tennessee. Tennessee's gotta be.
Tennessee is probably 3. You can backtrack between A&M and Tennessee. I probably would say Tennessee is probably number 2.
Georgia underrated.
Georgia is very
Your
underrated.
stadium,
But
your stadium.
Florida is literally, I think Florida is bona fide top 5. Bona fide top 5. And those fans, they got basketball. You know, last year they were obviously, well, I'm going off track. I'm off going off track. But the fans have not seen a good football team in a while. They have not. And I believe John Sumrall will bring the fan base back into believing in this football team and back into believing that they can make the playoffs. I think it can happen year 1. I give him 2 years. 2 years. And with that stadium, I believe that Florida is going to be the surprise team next year.
As long as, if you guys make a national championship, just don't have half the team come out later and be like complete criminals or drug addicts or.
Absolutely.
As long as that's a repeat, I feel like it'll be okay.
Absolutely. But I just think certainly this is my surprise team because certainly
shout out
he is. I think he's an awesome head coach, and I just think that he'll get those guys absolutely ready each game, and he made the playoffs last year. He knows what it takes to win, So I do believe that he will have this team back into contention of the playoffs, and I give him the first 2 years. Give him the first 2 years. I think we will see.
It's really cool that you say that, because he brought in his own staff. He brought in a new tight end coach, the ghost of Aaron Hernandez.
Oh my God!
Comes to practice sometimes.
Goodness.
Standing in the corner. Hey, fool.
That will conclude our college football preview talk.
Hey, run the angle.
We will obviously these takes will all be posted online. So if we're right or we're objectively wrong, we will come back to these.
If Florida's 1-7 going into week 9, we'll.
Yeah,
that might be just as bad as my Jet take last year.
If Florida is like 1-7 by like week 8, they'll put this clip in the group chat. This clip will probably be on the internet. But if they are, if it's correct, I might be the greatest mastermind of all time. But anyways, that will conclude the college football talk. We will get right into the anticipated NFL season. I'm sure there's probably going to be a hot debate in here somewhere. But the anticipated NFL season 2026, 2027 NFL season, there's a lot of really good teams this year. There's a lot of good teams this year.
Not parity.
There's a lot of parity.
Love to see
I think the AFC is extremely wide open as ever. The NFC is probably not, but there's still a lot of good teams in the NFC. Like I said, I think to me, the best division right now in football, in my opinion, is the NFC West. And where do you guys think these division winners will be in this year? Like, we can start off NFC first, AFC first. But who do you guys think are going to win each division in both conferences?
East?
So we can go in the order. If you want to go in the order that I have it written down, it's pretty much like it starts with the AFC East.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to take it from here? All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it from
AFC East. I'm still. You guys know this. I'm still a Josh Allen believer. I think the new stadium is really going to help them in the long run. I'm not a big Patriots guy. I'm not a Drake May guy. I believe AJ Brown will help him a lot. Yeah, but come week 16 or in a big game, who do you want, Josh Allen or do you want Drake May? And I don't think that's a question.
I think that is a very, very debatable question.
No. I would take Josh Allen any day of the week.
You would take the only MVP to ever throw 4 interceptions in a playoff game. You take him over a MVP runner-up.
Did you?
I think Josh Allen is just a better overall talent than Drake May. I would.
Big arm doesn't mean better quarterback.
No.
Keep
I
saying
know.
Do you not see him
I
running?
know that. But wait, hold. Let me get to my point. The Patriots, in my opinion, will win the division simply because they have overall the better roster than Buffalo. But Josh Allen does make up half a roster. He's the type of quarterback that can make up half a roster. The Patriots and the Bills, those matchups, the Patriots will always have the better roster, but the Bills will have the better quarterback. But I think that
But New England has a better coaching staff, actually.
I mean, yes, they do.
I just don't see how this is New England's division to lose. I just don't see how the Bills match up with them at all.
I'm saying
You
New
get DJ
England.
Moore. Okay, cool. You get DJ
I'm
Moore.
saying
Cool.
I'm saying New
Gonzo.
England.
You've Gonzo and
I'm
Jack
saying
Jones.
New
Like
England's going to win
they're
the
fine.
division. I'm saying they're going to win the division, but I believe that that Josh Allen's a better quarterback than Drake May.
Can we stop yelling at McCallie when Shay said this take? Like we're yelling at McCallie, but
No,
Shay said the take.
I'm agreeing.
No, I just don't believe in Josh Allen. If I'm being honest.
Okay.
I'll explain why.
I think Josh Allen's the second best quarterback in the NFL, but like
I do.
I
Sorry.
I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Drake May, but I think the reason why I would take the Patriots over the Bills is because they have the better roster. They have better offense. They have better offensive talent. They have a better defensive talent. They have a better coach. But
I think
Josh
Jim
Allen
Leonard's going to help the Bills a lot, though.
Huh?
Jim Leonard's a great defensive mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
Taking
I
over
think
the defense.
Yeah, and Josh Allen can make up. That's what I'm saying. Josh Allen's the type of quarterback that he can make up half a roster. If he's out there, Buffalo will have a chance.
The problem with that
But
is
he's not.
there's been games
clutch.
where he's been out there and he's caused the problems because he's trying to be half
Absolutely.
the team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing
But they
is,
also do have a top 5 running back, by the way.
True.
McCallie's
mouth open. Oh yeah.
No, dude.
So get the shaboing boing in your mouth.
He's probably like he doesn't know he's frozen, and he's probably like
he probably spitting some shit right now. We're just like, what the fuck? You guys mouth open for what?
Or that's live, and he's just like a mannequin.
Oh, that'd be funny as hell.
that.
Anyways, I just don't believe that you take a quarterback that threw for less than 4,000 yards in the added game, less than 30 touchdowns, and double-digit interceptions over Drake May. Yes, he did have a easier schedule, but they split the Bills this year. In the second game where they lost, I think it was 35-31, the Patriots had a chance to score. And there was a drop touchdown and a sack, I believe it was, that ended the Patriots game. So it wasn't entirely Drake May's fault. The defense allowed 35 points. So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like this year under Vrabel, getting AJ Brown is going to be huge. Huge. So I have New England winning the AFC East, you couldn't tell. I think it's their division to lose. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that Drake May is in for regression or any of this New England team is in for regression. I think they have too many mouths to feed at receiver. But besides that, their running back tandem is really good. Pretty good. Trayvon Henderson has some potential to love too. And Stevenson needs to fix his fumble issues. But you hopefully get progression out of Will Campbell. You shore up the O-line in the offseason. And then defensively.
You would hope.
Yeah, you would hope.
Well, T-Rex.
But he should have been playing guard from the start. That's a whole other thing. But man, Drake May.
Okay.
I'm a Caleb Williams guy, but I just believe Drake May's better.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, you're back.
Bro, my
Gang,
Wi-Fi cut out.
Yo,
We
your
finished
mouth
up the
is
AFC East.
Yeah, I saw
Wide.
that shit. My mouth was looking crazy.
We finished up the AFC East.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Well, hold on. I didn't say my take. Hold up.
Yeah. It's Lidge's turn.
right.
It's turn.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's give Lidge the room.
I'm really praying he's not going to say what I think he's going to say.
Yeah, not facts. I was gonna say the same thing.
I'm gonna say Buffalo's gonna win the division, not because Josh Allen is the quarterback, but just because I feel like they just have a little bit of a more well-rounded team. We kind of did just go over the negatives of the Patriots, of Will Campbell, the other stuff we said.
Yeah, but Joe Brady's a terrorist. If you watch the Bills toward the last stretch of the season last year, their offense looked dysfunctional almost and relied a lot of Josh Allen just chucking it. You can't. That's not a sustainable way to win. It's not.
Exactly. It's
And
not.
you return, and then you promote that guy to head coach.
The thing
And then
is,
your GM, and then you extend a GM who was drafted poorly. But continue. I'm sorry.
Anyways,
The
the Bills organization they're a complete joke. But go on.
Let's go on.
You kind of have to understand, like, they don't just promote a guy just to promote a guy. They have to see something in him. So they got to learn. There's always learning in the NFL, and if he had to learn from his mistakes from last year, and they got James Cook on the field, and the Bills' offensive line isn't bad. Like, by no stretch of the margin, they're bad. They might not be the best unit in the NFL, but they're one of the best. So if they could just solidify the ground game, maybe get another weapon. Diggs is on the market. Reunite those two. They were a good combo.
Diggs' career is cooked, by the way.
He is, but like, dude, if I'm the Bills,
the lawsuit,
I'm trying anything.
Lawsuit, that just.
I think his career is cooked. I think Buffalo certainly will be in the playoffs. I just think the New England's a better roster. They'll probably have, in my opinion, a top 5 offense in the league next year. By the way, I will be hate watching the Patriots. I will.
AJ Brown.
I will be hate watching them, but I do believe that they will have a top 5 offense next year.
They're gonna be nasty.
With him, with Drake May, mind you, Drake May was an MVP candidate with Steph.
He was the runner-up. He was the runner-up.
He was the runner-up
on a cupcake
he
schedule.
Played a college schedule.
On a
He
cupcake
did, absolutely. And
how cupcake is it?
It was cupcake. It was probably an over. It
was pretty bad.
Year.
That's like saying CJ Carr should win it for playing a cupcake schedule.
Hold on. It was an overrated year, but he was hooping with Stephon Diggs at age 31. Kayshawn Boutte.
That's not a.
Who else? Kyle Williams as a rookie.
And Demario Douglas.
Douglas, Pop Douglas. Austin Hooper as his tight ends. Like he still looked very good against obviously bad defenses with those guys. Now you add AJ Brown,
Romeo
Dobbs, and then you can start whoever you want in the slot or at the 2, because I think Romeo is probably more of a slot guy in the first place. And then you'll have Ramondre and Travion Henderson. Hopefully the offensive line's a lot better. That's what, if you're a Patriots fan, you have to hope the offensive line's a lot better, because they were terrible. In the playoffs, they were terrible. In the Super Bowl, that's why they lost. I think, Drake will have to perform better against good defenses. He's a bad defense merchant, though. He is. His numbers against bad defenses were outstanding. His numbers against good defenses were bad. And it's shown the whole playoff run. So I believe that, there'll be a top 5 offense next year. We can move on to the next division.
Yeah.
All right, let's take it up north. AFC North. I'll start. I don't know. I'm kind of falling into a trap, I feel like. Not really. I think it's
There's one team. There's one team.
I just think I don't think it's the Ravens to lose. I really don't. I think it's more of the Bengals to lose. I think they revamped that defense. They brought in a lot of key pieces, and Dexter Lawrence headlining, obviously, and they brought in Al Golden, who's one of the. We'll see how it transitions, obviously, but going to the pro level. But I just think if they can have a somewhat competent defense, that they can do great things. And the Ravens are only getting older. I mean, what have they really done? They haven't really got any younger. I mean, obviously the Bengals haven't, but they're taking what was a defense that couldn't stop a bloody nose to at least being able to get some stops. So,
yeah, I don't hate that take at all.
I agree.
I think the Bengals. Burrow said in his press conference, and I believe when it was OTAs, that this is the best team he's been on. he thinks this is overall the best roster that he's ever had. They'll have the best passing attack in the league, obviously. Um, you know, their offensive
We'll come
line.
back to that. We'll come back to that.
I mean, sorry. Like I don't care about Dak, CD, and Pickens. They have a top. They have overall the top receiver in the league and the best pocket passer in the NFL. Alongside the best number two in the league as well with T Higgins or Pickens. We can make that debate, either or. Um, and
Cowboys don't have a 2, but continue.
okay,
1A,
uh,
1B.
okay. Um, and Chase Brown's very underrated to me.
Jason's.
I like Chase Brown. Um, Defensively, the Dexter Lawrence trade, we'll see how it plays out. Lawrence came off of probably a down year of his career last year with the Giants. Still pressure rate rise. He's still elite in that category. Um, you know, they've been a bad defense the past couple of years, but really more importantly, they need linebackers and they needed secondary. I think more importantly, they need to get to the they just overall need a good defense. Any position will make them sort of a top 15 unit. So if you can get and overall health is also important as too. If Burrow can have a fully healthy season, we saw what he did when he did 2 years ago. So I believe this team could win the division, but I'm still going to stick with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are kind of like banking on kind of like a Notre Dame type of season, like Shay you mentioned before. They had a sour ending to their year last year. They weren't healthy. Lamar wasn't healthy. The team wasn't healthy. Obviously, like you mentioned, the team is aging. But, I love Jesse Minter. Arguably, probably a top 3 defensive coordinator in the league last year.
He was the best last year, in my opinion. If you go back and watch those Chargers games, the way he disguises coverages and sends exotic blitzes, it's a football work of art.
He
It
had
is
Jalen.
generally a pleasant
Jalen
watch.
he made Jalen play the worst game of his career last year. So it was the worst. So it was not one of. It was the worst. Anyways, so I'm a huge Jesse Minter believer. I think he'll be an overall way better coach than Harbaugh was, and Ravens fans were ready for Harbaugh to leave. So I'm gonna say them. I'm gonna say that the Ravens are going to win the division. And
I completely.
I like Jacoby Lane with Lamar Jackson too. They have a way deeper receiving room. So that's just my take as well. But go on, Mitch.
Yeah, I just want to mention something that hasn't been mentioned yet about the Ravens. They're bringing over OC Declan Doyle from the Bears. And him last year, I remember this time last year in training camp when he first got announced, or back in the spring when he first got announced, he was just a ball of energy, And I feel in early reports out of training camp saying him and Lamar are the same age, or like a year or two within each other. So him having that familiarity with his quarterback, Lamar said he loves him. He said this is his favorite offensive coordinator ever. And I feel like a healthy season Lamar with the receivers that you said, and if you can get any of that spark of the Bears offense had last year, if you could put that in the Ravens offense, combined with you have 2 to 3 all pros on that defense, that I think the Ravens they're gonna be the best team in the AFC next year. Personally.
Lich.
You all made good, arguments.
You guys see the Browns.
I'm not that dumb, but I am dumb enough to go back to. It's like going back to an ex. Sucks, but it can sometimes turn out well. I think the Steelers are going to win this division.
Hell no!
Listen, you got to hear me out. I listen to y'all ride Lamar for.
Whoa.
Not you,
Lamar.
Shay.
Don't include me in that shit.
Not you.
No.
Sorry.
Whoa!
I wanted to go on record as saying Lamar had one of the best quarterback seasons we've seen this century in 2024.
We'll get to that. Lich, continue on because this
All
take
right.
is frying me. The Steelers.
Right.
Go on.
Head coach Paul McCarthy, familiar with Aaron Rodgers. That's already one pro. They shored up the offensive line during the offseason with a tackle pickup and a guard pickup. I can't remember their names, but they were both good. Then picking up weapons For example, Rico
Do that. Mm-hmm.
Doddle. He was just coming off a 1,000-yard rushing season. That's pretty good. Then he got
Buckle up.
Pittman. Pittman is, I mean, listen, some people, I like him as a wide receiver, as a good wide receiver too, to Metcalf. It will help just expand the offense either way. And then the Steelers' defense was already good, and then they showed it up with getting a few safety and I believe linebackers through free agency, and their draft picks were strong. So I think with that all combined, I think you have a well-rounded offense for a quarterback who is aging, but he's good at what he do. So I mean, you got to give him
So
that.
the only thing I can say about the Steelers is one thing: outstanding wash. That team is full of old wash players. Michael Pittman, please. DK Metcalf, please. Aaron Rodgers, please. Mike McCarthy, please. No,
Yeah.
Jalen
The hell
Ramsey,
with Mike
please.
McCarthy.
Hold on. The only nice player that I really like on the Steelers is actually there's two. I'm not on defense. Alex Highsmith and Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter Jr. is an absolute top 10 DB in this league. He's
I'm
very
gonna-
I
Not
just
talking
saw
about Haywood.
I just saw a video the
Hayward?
other day. He actually
I'm
he
gonna-
actually
I'm gonna
caught the
Kirby
ball
kid.
in practice. If Matt man can learn how to start catching footballs, he might be top 3.
yeah. And this is crazy to me. This is crazy to me. In TJ Watt's Hall of Fame career, this guy has never won a playoff game. Did y'all know that? TJ Watt in his 9 or 10-year NFL career has never won a playoff game.
Mm.
That's crazy. And that just speaks to volumes of where the Steelers franchise is and where they are now. They're going to win 9 games. They're going to lose 8
I
games.
like
They're
James
gonna call
Dunker.
it-
I like that pick. The tackle out of Iowa that they took. I like James Dunker.
They shored up the offensive line
I
for
like
an
this.
aging quarterback. That's the best thing you can do. And I mean,
Mhm.
they have worst comes to worst, which will happen with Aaron Rodgers. They have Drew Allen as a backup, which don't kill me for this.
True.
He's not a incompetent quarterback. He's a talented guy. So I mean, worst comes to worst, you put him in and you just start rebuilding for the next season.
You know what's so
Best case
crazy?
scenario, you win a playoff game.
You know what's so crazy to me? I was actually a huge Drew Aller believer 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 2 years, not last year, not last year, not last year. 2
Oh,
years
no.
ago, when they made the playoffs, I was a huge believer. I said, this guy, he has the tools, has the physique. Obviously, I was wrong. And I saw there was a report when they came into rookie OTAs. They said they had to reteach every single technique that he had as a quarterback. So whoever taught him, fire them immediately because he came into the NFL with poor technique, poor everything. They had to basically reteach him the position. That's crazy to me.
That's one thing. But
I
Penn
think
State wasn't.
Go ahead.
Penn State, for my knowledge, wasn't an under center team. It was a college offense.
True.
Paul McCarthy is a traditional under center quarterback.
Paul
offense.
McCartney was in the Beatles. Mike McCarthy. Come on,
Mike
now.
McCarthy. It's late. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. All right, been up since 4. Give me some credit here. Mike McCarthy is a traditional under center, drop back, all that kind of offense. That's hard to relearn or just learn in general if you've been through a college offense for 4 years.
So okay, but here's my thing. He just I can't believe he actually came into the NFL with they had to reteach all his mechanics, everything. But if he can learn behind Rodgers for a year, wonders for his development. If he can just sit in that
I
room,
think we're on a tangent.
Yeah, we
I think
are.
we're on a tangent. A Drew Aller tangent. We have
Yeah.
been through two
But
things.
anyways, yeah, the Steelers are definitely not going to win the division. So that's just crazy. But Shay, give us the next division.
The next is AFC South. I mean, I don't really know. I think it's kind of an irrelevant division in my opinion. I don't think there's going to be much noise coming out of that division.
The Colts are
let's not-
winning that division. The Colts
The
are winning that
Colts?
division. Yes. Why is that a crazy
The
answer?
Colts?
Why is that a crazy answer? That's not a crazy answer.
Yo,
Out of
this
everything
is
I've said
pride.
today, that's not a
I
crazy
think
answer.
I don't know. I think whoever does come out of the division is going to lose first round of the playoffs.
Who
The
do
Texans
I
are
just,
going to win. Actually, it's either between Houston and Jacksonville.
It's
I
Jacksonville.
lost.
I just don't see how Jacksonville loses the division again.
If Houston's
With-
offense performs, they'll win that division. They
I
will.
lost all hope in CJ Stroud.
Yeah, but you gotta forget. You gotta remember, the Texans were like what, a top 3 defense. Jacksonville was not
Top
far
one.
behind them. They were not. No, Seahawks was one. Don't get it twisted. Seahawks was definitely the best defense of football. It's not even a debate. Texans are a close second, but Seattle was better personally. But anyways, Jacksonville's not far behind. They were definitely a top 7 unit last year. And you bring back Liam Cohen. You go from 8 wins with Trevor Lawrence, that same team. You bring Liam Cohen and you bring in Jacoby Myers. It was a difference for them going from 8 wins to 13. And I feel like I don't know. I just feel like with the continuity they
Yeah,
have
but
going
in
on.
what world are the Jaguars going to win the Super Bowl? So
No,
either
I'm
way,
not saying the
this
Super
division
Bowl, but
is
they're definitely going to win
irrelevant.
that division. I think the Titans are a sleeper too. By
The Titans will be better next year, but I just think Houston's going to win.
no, Lidge, you're shaking your head. No,
this
the
is
Titans
gonna,
brought in
they're,
Salah.
They'll be a lot better.
Salah has
They're
a
gonna-
top 10 defense wherever he goes, and
they're
Dable.
gonna okay. Yeah, top 10 defense. I had to deal with him in the Jets. Did we do better?
Okay, but listen,
No.
his OC is Brian Dable. Dable's not a good head coach. He's a great OC.
Okay.
If you give the keys to Dable, say here, it's all yours, take it. All he has to do is focus on defense and just make decisions. I think Salah is incredible enough and experienced enough to turn this Titans team. I don't be surprised if this Titans team wins 10, 11, 12 games in the next 2 years.
I
That's
just
all I'm
think
gonna
they're
say.
still a few pieces away. I think they need
Yeah.
like 2
Yeah,
years.
they're still a bit young to me to win like 10 games and everything.
I'll give
2
him.
years,
I'll
man.
give him
2 years.
this.
2 years, 10
I don't
games.
think Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence is gonna take a big leap this year.
He already
He's an
did.
inside.
He already did last
He
year.
revamped his
He's an
career
Yeah,
last year.
last year, yeah. I think
Yeah, but
did
I
he
mean-
not throw for 4,000 last year? Am I
I
not
think
sure?
he did.
I think he went right over. Yeah.
Okay, so I think, bro, if in my personal opinion, if Houston's offense is a slightly or just above average, they can win that division. Because that defense on paper and
Yeah.
when they play, that unit will be
4,007.
okay. Houston will win that division, in my opinion. If their offense can perform, that's literally it. And they could have won the Super Bowl last year if CJ Stroud just didn't troll. They could have won the Super Bowl last year. They could have went to the Super Bowl last year if their offense just performed.
I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. For the only fact that if you go back to that Seattle game, that was a 1-possession game until the fourth quarter. They had Seattle on the ropes.
Yes,
until the fourth quarter.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
if they had performed, if CJ Stroud just didn't troll in that playoff run, they could have been in the Super Bowl.
I said he was trolling.
He was trolling. He was.
Trolling who?
He was trolling. The New England game, he was trolling. If he just wasn't trolling, bro, they would have been in they would have easily beaten Denver. Easily.
All right, Lidge. Who is your pick?
I think he's-
I said my piece. I think the Colts.
Your Colts. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to. That's
All right.
blasphemy.
AFC West. And
This is
I,
a big-
I honestly think this could be the most interesting division in football, besides the Raiders. The Raiders are not going to be competing for the division, obviously. But
Mm.
I think the top 3 teams in this division, you can make a case for any of them. I'm not going to go against Mahomes and Reed. The guy's a winner, and they got a great running back now. They went from Isaiah Pacheco, who you can quote-unquote call him Rutgers legend because he won a Super Bowl, to now having Kenneth Walker, who's
Quote unquote.
Absolute
Rutgers legend.
stud.
That's 7th round
What's
pick to
wrong
Super Bowl
with him?
champion to you, buddy.
Isaiah,
Whatever.
What is wrong with him?
Dude,
All right,
Nah,
type
it's
of-
okay.
let's-
Don't give me
let's-
time of day, Lidge.
all right,
You know what, Lidge?
whatever.
I'll hold you.
Whatever. I'm not gonna go. I'm not. It's very hard to pick against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, they're winners. But the Chargers made the playoffs without their 2 All-Pro tackles, and that's what ended up costing them a playoff game. They lost that playoff game because
Of Justin
Herbert got sacked 6 times and never had a lick of daylight.
Yeah.
The defense was on him before he even blinked. So I
True.
mean, and Omarion Hampton going into his second year, I think Lab McConkey's going to break out of that sophomore slump that he was in. I think he's going to go back to his way he was his
He
rookie
was
year.
awful last year.
I think they're going to take a big step forward. I think this is the best team they've had, and Harbaugh's a great coach. So I mean,
Lad
So you
was
got the
awful,
Chiefs.
and I would know.
So you take the Chiefs or Chargers, Shay?
I just can't pick against the Chiefs. I think the Chargers take a big step forward, but it's too hard.
I'm
It's
gonna
just
say
hard to
I'm
go
not.
with
I'm
Denver.
not going to take a Chargers team going into Arrowhead. It's not going
I'm
to happen.
surprised that you didn't say anything about Denver. I'm very
Denver
surprised.
I was going to get into Denver too, but I mean, AFC champion. You could argue that they were going to go to the Super Bowl if they don't lose Bo Nix. So
Yeah,
another
they
team.
were.
So that,
That's my
100%.
point. That's literally my point. I think that's why I'm gonna go Denver. I think Denver, to me, they were. I'm pretty sure they were top 3 scoring defense in the league last year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
They were.
Who's up there?
They
Yeah.
were good. They were damn good.
Offensively, they're a bit overrated and inconsistent. They are.
Yeah, but they shored that up. They brought in Jalen Waddle. Yeah,
Right.
sure.
That's what I was about to say. And I thought Bo Nix absolutely hooped in that Buffalo game, and I think if he was healthy in that AFC Championship game, they were definitely beating New England, and they would have went to the Super Bowl, but they would have lost. They didn't make a ton of moves in the offseason, but they made a big move that will make them better. I think Jalen Waddle makes their offense so much better, and I don't think Sean Payne is definitely not. I think he's not calling plays this year, which is kind of crazy. I've never seen a Sean Payne offense where he's not calling plays.
Mhm.
I think the offensive coordinator, he's a former quarterback. Somebody fact check me on that. But they think Sean Payne thinks that he's a brilliant mind, and that they think that he can become a head coach. So he's not giving up. He's giving up plays, which is kind of crazy. Their running game, they had virtually no running game last year because their whole running back room was depleted.
Mhm.
Their
But
offensive
RJ
line,
Harvey.
yeah,
RJ Harvey. Love
their
him.
offensive line is top 5 in the NFL.
Mhm.
Defensively, their defensive line is probably the best in football, right behind Houston. They have the best defensive player in the NFL, in my opinion, in PS2. You can make any argument for Myles Garrett or PS2, but I'm going to say either or, probably the best defensive players in football. So I believe that Denver's going to win the division. It'll be tougher once again because the Chiefs will be back healthy and the Chargers, they're always in that fold. But I just think Denver's going to win the division this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about me is all these teams, other than the Raiders, are having quarterbacks come back from an injury. Um, Mahomes with his leg, Bo Nix with the surgery he had to get on his ankle, Herbert with his wrist, I believe. And I kind of can't go against Mahomes in this case because I trust him more, if that makes sense. Because he's been injured before and he still performed. What? Why was your mouth open, McCallie?
Go ahead. No, finish.
And I mean, Bo Nix, he was good, but I've never seen him come off an injury before. Herbert, he's tough, but again, it still feels like he's hasn't taken a step forward in the right direction. He's taken small steps, in my opinion, but still hasn't taken the steps where I think he can be leading the team to a Super Bowl by himself, like a Patrick Mahomes. And then the Raiders still have some growing to do. So I think I got to go with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Bro's reconnecting again.
I thought I was bugging because I thought
No, it's just him.
Nah, it's just.
Yep, there he goes. He's gone
No,
now.
but anyways, I like the
Yeah.
Chargers personally because if Mahomes and Knicks don't come off the same, dude, that opens the way for the Chargers. But the thing with the Chargers is because they're not gonna have the defense they did last year.
yeah, but dude, the Chiefs have
Um,
just I think they have a better overall team, especially with adding just their O line is not terrible, but dude, I'm gonna pass out. I can't stay awake. I'm like about to pass out, dude. I can't even remember his name. I can't even remember who I'm like the running
Kenneth
back's
Walker.
name, dude.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Walker.
All right, so when McCallie gets back, we'll go to the NFC.
The NFC East and
Sorry,
rage bait the fuck out of him and tell him that the Eagles
Please.
are absolute.
Yeah.
Personally, all right, I'm gonna tell you guys now. I have Philly winning the division. I'm not gonna lie.
Should we
So
all
do
should we
I.
all prank him? Should
Chris,
we all prank
Christian
him?
Parker is kind of a question mark about Dallas, or else I'd take them. I just need to see how the defense looks. So I'm going to take Dallas. That's my only thing about Dallas.
Can we just prank him and pick Dallas like we all pick Dallas?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
I feel
Yes.
like that'd be
So I have a solid
Meanwhile-
argument for because Christian Parker was in Philly and he helped develop Pat Surtain.
Yeah.
So I mean he's coming from 2 top 10 defenses. So I just don't see how it's a decline, but it's still a question mark. That's why I have him behind Philly. If not, I would have Dallas because that offense is going to be a top 5 offense, if not top 3.
Bro's on the McDonald's Wi-Fi.
McDonald's, he's on Sprint. he's on Boost Mobile, bro. So we all have Philly winning the MCs. I'm gonna assume.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna prank them and be like, "Yep, Dallas."
Yeah.
Oh man, I was gonna play some MLB.
Bro, my Wi-Fi is literally like Chungus, bro.
There he is. All right, to McCallie.
I heard
We're gonna go
Lidge
through our
on stream-
FC.
I heard Lidge on stream just like they said I couldn't even remember his name because he's like dying of like tiredness.
Dude, I've been up since 5. I
Oh,
gotta be up at 5 tomorrow. I'm sacrificing my sleep schedule for this shit.
all right,
So-
we'll
In the
speed
spirit
run.
of Lidge, we'll get to this. We'll go NFC East
All right.
first. All right.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're done with the AFC West, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
AFC's done.
NFC. What's
All right.
first?
NFC East.
Ah,
Yeah. Go ahead, McCallie. Go ahead, McCallie.
No, I'm going last. Y'all go.
No, let the unbiased go first.
Yes.
Let y'all go first.
Okay. Lidge, you want to go first? Want me to go first?
You got it.
All right. Personally, it's a hot take. And don't call me a hater. I like Dallas. I like Dallas because better offense, and their defense coordinator they're bringing in was the D-back coach when Pat Surtain first came in the league at Denver, helped him develop him into an All-Pro. And then you have he was at Philly too, helped develop DeJean, Mitchell, all of them. So if he can reciprocate some of that that influence, that I guess progression, that improvement, I think Dallas is a sleeper. I know it's always their year, yeah. But I don't think it's their year, but I think this could be their year to win the division. And historically, the NFC East does not really have a repeat champion of the division, let alone a 3-peat champion. That has been done since like the mid 2000s. So I don't know. History
We
repeating
repeated
itself
last year.
is very slim.
We
Yeah,
repeated
repeat.
last-
I said 3-peat.
Oh,
You guys saying 3-peat?
okay.
3-peat.
My bad.
I just don't think you guys are going to 3-peat the division. Glitch?
I like that. It's good. I'll go with a little hot take. I'll go with a little spicy.
Oh,
Some
no.
would say I think the CTE twins that live in the Big Apple are going to surprise the world. I think, and John Harbaugh, he'll like take Josh, he'll take Dart through the ringer with like just making him a better quarterback, but he'll come out better. Scattaboo is Scattaboo. I can't really say more about him. The defense, I feel like, is pretty good. It was pretty good when last season. I think it's just going to get better. And honestly, if they can just keep a decent record and just win, maybe split the like in the division with all the teams, I think they have a chance.
Interesting. All right, the bias. The bias. Let me see how this goes.
All right,
I
so
wanna
I
re-
have a few
Go ahead.
numbers pulled up.
Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
I'm not gonna get much into the division, whatever. I am kind of taken away from. So we all know how the media is trained, whatever. They're always on some bullshit, trying to get ratings and views.
Mhm.
I've been seeing media on ESPN, Twitter, everything saying how it's Super Bowl or bust for the Cowboys. And I think that is fucking stupid. They're saying that this is the team that has to win the Super Bowl or this is Dak's team that has to win. I think that is stupid as hell. They're saying that. How are you going to say that about a team that was 32nd in points allowed, 32nd in defensive third down percentage, 31st in red zone defense, 30th in defensive yards per game, 30th in takeaways, 29th in defensive red zone touchdown percentage? Yes, did they bring in a new defensive coordinator? Yes, they did. Did they bring in Caleb Downs, arguably the best defensive player in the class? Yes. Did they also bring in Malachi Lawrence and a bunch of other pieces? Yes. But as much as you shine chicken shit, it is still fucking chicken shit. The defense is not going to just overnight turn into this fucking mastermind power defense that's going to let up 13 points in a game. Is the offense going to be the same? Yeah, it will be the same. It's going to keep producing, and it's going to be Javonte Williams is going to be running the ball, Pickens, Lamb, Ferguson, whatever. Great. The defense is still not stopping it at bloody nose. I hope it does. I really do. But this whole Super Bowl or bust bullshit needs to stop because a defense that was awfully bad, like records bad. I don't know how you think over in a year turnaround, all of a sudden it's going to be a Super Bowl team.
This isn't even Dak's best team that he's ever had. I
No.
would argue that I would say 2018 team was very good. 2016 was probably his best team. I would even say 2021. Those three teams to me are Dak's best teams that he's ever had. Um, Now the Cowboys to me, they will be better. They will be. I still can't get over. I still can't get over the pre Thanksgiving game we played against them. That game. Oh my god.
21
Yeah,
points?
20. Yeah, we blew a 21-point lead. We did do that. We did do that. Um, but certainly, I do believe Dak has always been a top 10 quarterback. They will lead an elite offense like they always have. I do agree with Shane at some point. I do also agree with like Belcher. Like they're gonna be a good team. Will they be a great team? Probably not. Will they be very good offensively? Yes. Defensively, will they magically turn to a top 10 unit? Definitely not. Have they improved? Yes. They're making the right step in direction. But the clock is ticking with Dak. I think Dak's play style can get him to play in the like later 30s of his career. Like he'll just probably turn into like passer only, but he already has been that. Um just like I think the clock with him with winning with him is ticking. It's ticking. Um yeah, I think they'll probably win about I'm gonna say 9 to 10 games. I'll give them 9 to 10 games. I think we always split with them. Nobody we haven't been able to sweep them. They haven't been able to sweep us. That's just always a fact. Every game kind of feels close with them. We always struggle in Dallas for some godforsaken reason. We can never fucking win in that stadium. It always pisses
Get
me off.
there.
And they can never beat us in Philly. So I'm still gonna say I think we're gonna win the division. I'm not trying to be biased. I just think that defensively our unit is still elite. It is. We're one of the youngest defenses in the NFL. We got better pass rusher wise with Grenard. Obviously had a down year with Minnesota, but I do believe playing with a better defensive line, he'll be better. We arguably have one of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL in Zach Bond. We have two All-Pro DBs. The only question with our defense is the safety room, and we added, one of the better cornerback twos in the league after we didn't after we had Adoree Jackson as our cornerback two last year. Now, yes, let's talk about the offense. Now, the offense was awful last year.
Trash.
Awful.
Trash. Led by a trash quarterback.
Okay.
Got worse, by the way.
So let me
Yeah,
get to
get
that.
worse.
Let me get to that point. Now, I want to say this: majority of the season last year
Dinger, get out of here.
is a blur. It's a blur because a lot of the games were just so hard to watch. I think that we have more depth at positions now. Now, in
Buddy,
previous,
you have Dontavian Wicks, and you guys are acting like he's Jerry Rice.
let me
What are
let
you
me
talking about?
let me finish.
You guys
Let
are
me
so
finish.
delusional
Let me
that you think
finish.
Dontavian
Let
Wicks
me
doesn't he
finish.
wear that big ass guardian head
Let
ass
me
thing?
finish.
Get the hell out of
Let
here.
me
He's
finish.
your wide receiver 3. I don't care. No,
Okay,
no,
okay, but you're not letting me
no.
finish. I'm telling
What?
you, we'll have more depth. The past 3 years, we had about two receivers, two good receivers. Outside of
You
AJ,
have one
Yeah,
now.
two top 15 receivers.
okay, who were the
Yeah,
rest of the
that's
receivers
pretty
on the
good.
team though? Who were the rest of the
All
receivers
right,
on the team?
Jahan Dotson was a first round pick.
He averaged about three
Dotson was
catches a
good.
game, 2-3 catches a game. After Jahan
What do
Dotson,
you
who
want
else?
from what do you want
Who
from
else?
a
Who else?
third?
Now with the new receiver room, you'll have Smitty as the number one receiver. You'll have Wicks in there at the number two spot. You'll have Makai
Dontavian
Lemon.
Wicks that came from the Packers, who have the worst receivers ever
I mean,
known to
he's a very
mankind. Go
good
ahead.
route runner. He's a very good route runner, and he'll have more opportunities on this offense. Not to
Go
mention,
ahead.
Okay,
not to mention, we'll have Makai Lemon in the slot. He'll eat in the middle of the field, and he'll eat after the catch. Then you have the tight end room with Dallas and Eli Stowers. So you have two tight ends. So you can run 12 personnel. You can run 13 personnel if you want. You have
You
more tight
stopped with
ends.
the receivers. You said you had better receiver depth. Do you name 3?
Hollywood Brown. So you have four receivers. You have four
Hollywood
receivers.
Brown.
You have four receivers with
Dude.
Smitty, Dontavian Wicks, Makai Lemon, and Hollywood Brown. Those are four receivers.
Hollywood Brown.
So you can
Tyler
run
Brown's an Eagle.
so so you
He's an
can
Eagle.
run. He is. You can run different formations, different plays, different styles, more than just running AJ Brown, Devontae Smith ball. Now you'll have two tight ends in the system, and then you have two good running backs. So you still have a borderline top 5 running back with Saquon Barkley, and oh my god, Tank Bigsby, who to me is one of the best backup running backs in the league. Last year he obviously was. And then the offensive line, when they're healthy, when they're playing and they're healthy, they're the best in football. So, and if you'll have a new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, who comes from who
Yeah, a
comes
career backup, by the way.
okay, but he literally came from the LaFleur system, and the LaFleur system comes from the Shanahan tree. So
The
we'll have
floor system, but he was in the league for 14 years before that.
okay.
I
Okay,
wouldn't call him
so
a
we'll be running a West Coast offense, a more under center, no more shotgun, no more pistol. We'll have a more fluid offense. Imagine Jalen in a more fluid offense. The offense if the
yeah.
offense plays if
He'll
the
go from
offense
30.
plays if the offense will play top 15 level next year, the Eagles will win the division. They're gonna win the
All right,
division.
let's move.
Go ahead.
Let's move. And
North.
so we're going to go to the north, and I'm going to say that this is not financial advice because, that is illegal to give financial advice. But on Kalshi and Polymarket and Prediction Market apps, the Chicago Bears are plus 320 to win the division. I think that is great value. I don't know
I think
how
it is
they
too.
have the Lions
It's there.
and the Packers in better odds. I think the Bears aren't.
Thank you.
I don't know how they aren't getting more respect. Honestly,
All
I
right,
think
let's
Caleb Williams is that guy. I really
Honestly,
do.
I agree. The Bears are going to win this division.
Are we
not
saying
Thank you,
it
guys.
outright and as easy? Like they'll be like easily division winners.
I'm not saying
Well,
they're going to
no,
win by
definitely not.
3 games,
Okay.
but I think they win the
Yeah.
division.
We all
I
know I'm a
think
huge Bears fan. I don't think that will happen. I think what's going to happen is I think it'll be us and the Lions. We have not beaten the Lions under Ben Johnson yet, and it has been particularly close. So I think it depends on how the Lions do this year. I think if the Lions drop one to Minnesota or Green Bay, that's how we win the division. But besides that, I think if Detroit has the bounce back year that I think they're going to have, I think they win the division. If I'm being completely honest with you,
They swept you guys
but I
last
think
year.
they win it by a game. Yes.
Wow, I did not know that. Actually, wait, I do know that. I watched that last game.
One of the games we lost was like 55 to
Yes,
20. It
I
was one of the
do.
worst football games I've ever watched in my life. We got
Um,
manhandled. Oh, terrible.
I do believe that the question is for the Bears. For me, is the defensive line. That's only it for me.
Oh yeah, I'm in agreement with you. We did nothing to improve it.
And they
We
won't
did
do it.
nothing to.
I'd rather have like a bad secondary with good pass rush than no pass rush and a good secondary.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No,
Yes,
not
I
when you had
would.
to watch Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland run around and not be able to cover.
I would. Okay, but you can still get to the quarterback.
Yeah, but
You can still get
that
to the
only
quarterback.
does so much. That only does
You
so
Go back
much.
need.
and watch it.
You need
I think that
a pass rush
the
more than
D.
you need secondaries. That's why they get paid more than
You
DBs.
could have a good D line and a competent secondary, but you can't have a good D line and a bad secondary.
Yes, you
That
can.
just doesn't work. No, you
Yes, you
No, you
can.
can't.
Macallie, you
Dude,
can't have
they
one
could
or the
run
other
quick
on
slants
defense.
on you the whole game.
Yeah, but then
There's ways to get
quick game.
but the
around.
quarterback would still be affected. Like imagine like a very good defensive line, elite, but your realistically, how long does the secondary have to hold? What, like
3
10?
seconds, maybe less.
Yeah, like maybe
3
5
seconds, 4
10.
seconds.
Nigga said 10.
Okay,
If an
okay,
offensive line's giving their quarterback 10 seconds,
okay.
I'd personally give him all the money I could have.
All right. So realistically, you're holding for like what, 3 to 4, 5 seconds.
3 to 5 seconds.
So
That's a good
I'd
one.
rather have a good pass rush than a bad secondary.
The thing
All right, I
is,
think we can.
you can only we're going down a rabbit hole. Sorry.
I
Oh,
think
sorry,
we
I'm
could
sorry.
basically wrap up this division before we allow McCallie to get into his Jordan Love propaganda because that is just something else. So
I think he's a top
NFC
2
South.
quarterback.
Wait, you took the
NFC
Packers?
No, I took the Bears.
No, I'm stopping that
Okay.
before you get
Okay.
NFC South.
NFC
Fair
South.
enough.
I like my pick. This is the toss up. You could put all 4 of these teams in a hat and pull them out and then say the division winner and be like, all right, cool. So I want to see what you guys say first.
McCallie, go. I want to see your pick.
Man, definitely.
I mean, I'll
I'm
just
not-
put it out there. I'm not gonna put much thought into this. I'm gonna go with the Saints. I like Tyler
Yes.
Shuck. I think he's gonna be a
I
successful
like
quarterback.
the Panthers. I like what they did against the Rams.
I mean, I think you
Yeah.
can make a case. Like Belcher said, you can make a case for any team, and I wouldn't even
True.
go against you.
I like the Panthers.
I love what they almost beat the Rams. And
I'm rocking with Shay on this one, dude. I'm a Shuck guy.
all right.
They
all right.
like what they saw, and people forget that the Saints had a top 5 defense in major metrics last year. They
Okay.
did. It was just their offense was putrid, and they had Spencer Rattler starting most of the year. Once Shuck got comfortable, you saw how good they were. I think they finished like 3 games above 500 in their last 8 games.
Yeah. Before
So
his first
and you
start, I
add
was joking.
Jalen Tyson, you add another lineman in the draft. They drafted well. You got year 2 of Kellen Moore, and we saw what he did with Philadelphia. So I think it's their division to lose. I like the Saints a lot, actually.
I wouldn't go as far to say it's theirs to lose, but I think they can win it.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think the Panthers are better. They just lost one of their edge rushers for the season. Nick Stroughton, one of their young edge rushers, is gone for
I
the
did
season.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but this
He's
is
gone
a
for the
division that's
season.
going to
And
be.
for the people that are
if we
saying
were
the
talking
Panthers,
about like a
9 and
running
8,
back,
8 and 9, 7 and 10.
drop ball, get there.
All right. Anyways, let's move on to the NFC. Where do we have West? West is left.
West.
Or yeah, West.
Mhm.
Okay. We're all in agreement that it's going to be the Rams, right?
Yeah, there's not much debate
Yeah,
there.
There's not
no,
much.
I mean,
No,
it's gonna
no,
be.
no, Belcher. Don't. No, it's literally the Rams.
I think it's gonna be.
Literally, they have a God squad.
My question is, how do you bet against the Super Bowl champs?
Yeah, I was
How do
gonna
you
say
bet
Dude, they
that.
against
lost
Aaron
Clint
It's
Donald
Kubiak. The
and Miles Garrett?
JSN is easily. I mean, you can't go against you. He's gonna regress. It's gonna happen. He's Clint Kubiak. They lost. Sam Darnold. I think it was a fluke year, to be honest with you. I don't think he's gonna
whoa,
repeat what he did.
whoa.
Okay,
He's not gonna
I'm not
Calm
going
it
to sit
down.
here and
Calm it
say
down.
Darnold didn't play like a top 10 or 15 quarterback. He just did enough to win them games, and their defense was great. And I just think, their only loss was what? Tariq Woolen? You
And they
lose Kenneth
lost,
Walker,
but they lost Kenneth
And
Walker.
lost K9,
I
yeah,
mean, they
and they
lost their
replaced him
OC.
with
Jadarian Price, the first
Jalen
round
Price.
pick and a running back. He was pretty good. He tested well at the combine.
He did.
He had good tape as being
I will
Jeremiah.
say,
I just
Imagine
don't.
being a backup running back and going first round.
I
I
just
will
don't
say
think
my
they're
hot
like
Just
take.
saying.
My hot take
overall like.
does come out of this team, the Seahawks. I will say that.
And the Rams, their secondary got so much better this year. Like their secondary was the reason why they lost that NFC Championship game.
True. You had
Um,
McDuffie.
and you add McDuffie, you add Jalen Watson. Like I believe that their secondary is going to be a lot better this year, and they won't have Sam Darnold throwing 380 yards against them in a playoff game.
Oh,
And they'll have
and they have Miles Garrett.
and they have Miles Garrett. So like I just think that the Rams are going to win that division outright. All right, but we'll move on. So we'll move on. We'll kind of skip the playoff predictions, like not entirely. But who do you guys think is going to be in the conference championship games and in the Super Bowl?
All right. Conference champ. AFC will go first, I guess.
Yeah.
I got Broncos Ravens.
Okay.
Broncos Ravens in Baltimore.
Interesting.
Yeah, I see that. I can definitely see that happening.
Shay, what are we thinking? I kind of like threw the ball like pretty. I just yeah.
I think. I just think this game's going to be host to AFC Championship. It just makes too much sense. AFC Championship in the new Buffalo Stadium. I think it makes too much sense.
Can we get
I don't
off
know who's
Buffalo,
going to be there
please?
with them. I could see. Honestly, I think it's going to come out of the AFC West. Whoever comes out of that division, it's
I'm
going to
gonna
be one
give
of
you
those
guys.
teams.
Me personally, in my seven team, I have Buffalo as a 5 seed. Personally,
I'm gonna give you guys a bit of a hot take. It's kind of crazy, but I'm feeling it. If Joe Burrow's in the playoffs, and if that offense starts hooping, I'm gonna say it's Cincinnati and Denver in the AFC Championship game. It's not a
don't
confident
say
pick.
it.
It's
Don't
not
say
a
it.
confident pick. I'm not confident with it, but it's a bit of a hot take.
Mhm.
I would throw Houston in there, but I'm not that confident yet in Houston's offense. I would throw New England there, but I feel like they're bound to get upset in the playoffs. I
Mhm.
think Denver was right in the fold, and I think they'll be better offensively. And I think Joe Burrow is like he has that playoff run again. They get to the champion. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna win, but I think he gets to that championship game again.
Mhm.
NFC. What you guys got for NFC?
Shay, or did they go for AFC?
I kind of agree with Belcher. I do like that. I think Mahomes. I want him to make it back. I feel like he's good enough to make it back even after an injury like this. But I just think the Broncos might have a chance with
No.
just.
It's got to be out of here. Sorry. Wait, that won't be the show.
I don't know. I think go on, Lynch.
I don't know. It's a tough decision for me because
Yeah,
I think it go like 5 different matchups and
yeah,
they're all
certainly,
like that's totally fair to say.
certainly.
Like I could say the Chiefs and the Bengals play, and that's like if everything goes right for the Bengals, yeah.
I don't know. I just think Cincinnati is just like I think Kansas City is just like they're not the same as what they used to be. Like
And
we're banking on Mahomes. Obviously, Mahomes he's one of one, but he's still coming off an ACL at 30. Kelsey is 36 years old. Their
Mm.
receiving room is dirt. Like
yeah,
Rasheed Rice, the number he's not a number one.
And he's gonna be in jail anyway.
Yeah, Worthy I like. Who even is their number three? Who is their number three receiver?
I
I
think
think
it's
it's a
still
white
Juju
guy.
Smith-Schuster.
He's not
I
even on
think
the
it's still
number
Juju
five.
Smith-Schuster.
I think it's Tyquan Thornton.
Oh my
Yeah,
yeah. Taekwon
Baylor
Thornton,
kid.
Rasheed Rice, and Xavier Worthy. That's not knocking off anybody's socks.
Yeah, but he did still put up numbers when he had
Defensively,
really bad.
I like Mansour Delane. I think the Chiefs have always been able to like have good DBs, but they never pay their DBs, which is like crazy. Chris Jones is getting older, but I like what they did to their defensive line. You know, they lost Chanel. I don't know. I'm not as high as the Chiefs I was on like a year ago or 2 years ago. Um, so I'm just gonna say that I think Denver and Cincinnati to me is the AFC championship. But we'll move on to NFC.
Hmm.
NFC. Who do we think is the NFC championship conference championship game?
Oh God, it's got to be Rams Seahawks.
Yeah,
I just don't see anything else. I think it's gonna be them
yeah.
two again, running it back.
I don't
They're
I don't see that.
too
I like
good.
a
I see
rematch.
the Rams. I see the
I
Rams.
like
I don't see the Seahawks.
really.
Yeah,
Listen,
I think I'm with you
Seahawks are
too.
gonna have to go on the road. They're
Yeah.
not gonna win the division.
All right.
It's gonna take
Well,
them.
yeah,
The
no.
reason,
Seattle would be on the road to the Rams.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got. I don't know. I think you can make a case for a lot of teams.
You can. You
Obviously.
can.
You
Okay.
got the Seahawks, Niners, Lions, Eagles. Yeah, there's just you can make a case
You
for
can,
anybody.
it's so hard because it's so wide open for like the AFC. You can like any game is realistic. NFC like any game is not out of realm of possibility outside of like the Rams. So it's
Watch
our,
them be ass.
yeah. Okay. We will go on to the award winners, and particularly award winners, we'll just try and go.
Oh wait, real quick. Super Bowl Rams, Ravens. And I got the Rams.
Okay.
Sorry, I just cut you off completely.
No, that's okay. We'll go Super Bowl, not Super Bowl picks. Excuse me. Award winners. Um, we'll go MVP. Let's say offensive and defensive player of the year. We'll choose those two. We'll do those three awards. Like those are the only awards I really care about.
All right. My MVP. Oh, it's gonna ruffle some feathers, but I think Lamar gets back on top, dude.
I'm on the same way.
You can see my bias. I mean, dude, you hire Jesse Minter, you draft a competent receiver to be Zay Flowers' number 2. You know, you draft Likely's replacement, I believe. And I mean, Jesse Minter is kind of just the reason why I'm so high on the Ravens because his defense is so good. And he has a lot more talent on this Ravens defense than he ever did on the Chargers. Not saying the Chargers are not a talented defense, but if you look at the Ravens compared to the Chargers, you're like, oh, damn. Like, Minter's actually going to be working with some dudes. So I don't know. I think Lamar is going to help propel this team back to where they should be.
Okay. Shay, what's your pick? And I already know who it is going to be.
No. You want a dark horse pick? I just don't feel like picking one of the top guys.
Mm.
You want a dark horse pick? You want me to go with somebody?
Dark horse. I feel like
Dark horse is Caleb. Come on.
No, it's not. He's longer odds than him. I'm gonna go Brock Purdy. I think Mike Evans is gonna help him tremendously.
Wow.
And I think he's a good quarterback.
Wow, interesting. Okay. I'll do both. MVP outright, you know me, MV8 baby. I got MV8 going back to win his third, should be fourth MVP. NFL is kind of low on him, which is pretty interesting. But I just think whenever he's out in the field, I think he's the best quarterback in football. When
Mhm.
he's healthy and he's out on the field, he's the best quarterback in football. We've seen him win MVPs with non-talented skill position players. I think he's going to do that with a better offensive system and scheme and players. Dark horse. I'm not against the Caleb Williams take. I just think that Caleb Williams has to improve on his accuracy. He was one of the worst in
Um,
football last year. 58%.
I'll bring that. I'll bring up the accuracy.
He
Continue.
was 58% completion percentage. That's literally below
Oh,
average.
okay, but you got to include throwaways and broken
No, no,
plays,
no, no.
drops. The Bears receivers led the league in
58%.
drops, and Caleb led the league in throwaways. So before we think Caleb is just he does have his accuracy issues. I do agree, but when you look at the throws and you factor in the Bears Caleb led the league in throw percentage and lost the throw. So if you factor all that in, his completion percentage being 58 is really I don't know. When you factor in, especially the drops and throwaways, I think that tanked his percentage. I think his actual expected percentage was like mid 60s. I think it was. So
Okay,
he's not
that's
he's not a
fine.
loose cannon out here. It's just his completion percentage got tainted by drops and throwaways.
That's fine. And even in his amazing playoff run, can you explain to me why he had more interceptions than touchdowns?
Miscommunications. I would say
Uh,
out of the four
uh-huh,
he threw,
uh-huh.
I would say two of them were his fault.
Okay. Well,
Well, if you want to bring up the Rams one, everybone wants to bring up the Rams
Okay, we're
one
down. We're
because
going
that's
down a
how.
rabbit hole again.
No, I
We're
actually
going
need to
down a
finish
rabbit
this
hole.
rabbit hole.
yeah,
No,
like
I'm gonna plant the shovel because in that playoff game, Moore was supposed to run a flatter crosser route, but he kept
it
pushing
doesn't
vertical toward the
matter. It was
post.
intercepted.
Caleb was
It
expecting him to
doesn't matter.
flatten out his route, but he kept going straight. That is a
It doesn't
miscommunication,
matter.
not
It was
Caleb's fault.
intercepted. It was a poor
Yeah,
throw.
but it wasn't his. If you think all interceptions are quarterback's fault, then that's just terrible.
Okay, well, anyways, let's move on. Offensive player of the year.
All right. First thought, Jameer Gibbs. Obviously, the loss of David Montgomery completely takes over the backfield. Whatever. That leads me to my dark horse pick, Justin Jefferson.
I like
That
that.
man, I think he's gonna go on a tear. I think Kyler Murray could
Look,
service
Kyler
him
Murray.
a lot better than JJ McCarthy did. And I just think that I think people are forgotten that you still can make a case that he's the top talent in the league.
And he'll have KOC as his play caller. And KOC to me is like a borderline top five coach in the league. Um, he just-
Yeah.
so I don't hate the take. I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase. I think Jamar and Joe Burrow are the best QB wide receiver duo in the NFL. When they had a both healthy season, Jamar literally, I believe, almost had the triple crown, or he did have the triple crown. Someone fact checking on that? I believe he did. The 24 season.
Hmm. He
Um,
did.
if Saquon Barkley didn't exist in that season, he would have been the offensive player of the year. So I believe a fully healthy season with those two, I believe Jamar Chase is going to win offensive player of the year. Lich.
Interesting.
Dark horse. I'll get that out of the way right away. Garrett Wilson.
With
Garrett
Mo,
who?
Curly, and Shirley throwing him the ball. Yeah.
Garrett who? Garrett who?
Ja-
I'll say Garrett Wilson because I'll get to it. I'll get.
Is he gonna be the best offensive player on his team?
Garrett who?
All right. Let's not say Garrett who. Let's not.
I'm saying Garrett who? I think he's a good player, but ain't no
He's
way.
got
Jeff
Gino
Bland-
Gino got no hose Smith fucking throwing the ball to him.
I don't think he's gonna win an offense.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it when we do our team predictions. But then, actually, I do think that Saquon will get MVP. I really think I think if he has a really good season with the Eagles, I feel like he could get that.
All right. I don't hate the take. Belcher.
Personally,
Yeah, I wonder why.
I feel like people are just forgetting that Bijan Robinson exists, and he's getting a play caller who maximized their running backs in Cleveland with minimal quarterback play, might I add, except for Baker. But I think
I do.
Bijan, with his receiving ability and with the Falcons improving their offensive line, getting a new play caller in Stefanski. I don't think Stefanski is an overly good coach, but I think he's a good enough offensive play caller to maximize Bijan. And I think Bijan's going to go nuts this year.
All right.
Can I,
Defensive player there.
can I,
Oh, go ahead.
before we
Lynch.
do this,
Go ahead, Lynch.
can I just go because I gotta go to bed.
Go ahead, dude.
I
Good night,
gotta.
dude.
Let me just do my Jets prediction, and then I'll head out.
Oh God.
Go ahead. I want to see it.
We got pen and paper. Write it down. You ready for this? Ready for this insane prediction?
I'm ready. I'm
0-17. 0-17.
Say again?
Come on, give it to me.
1-16.
You are correct. Oh, and
1-16?
we're just not winning a game. We're not winning a game. Not winning a game.
Who do they beat? The Dolphins?
No,
Oh,
we're not winning a
my
game.
God. I'm
There's no-
dead, bro.
Wait,
Game we're winning
0-17?
We're going 0-17, baby. We're getting Dante Moore, Arch Manning, whoever the hell we get.
Yo, this might be funnier than the 12-5 prediction.
Listen,
Dude,
yo,
the
you
12
know
and 5
now
minutes
they're
was
gonna win like 10
outrageous.
games.
When he said 12,
He's trying to reverse first his team.
No, that's the thing.
It's frying me.
That's not how it works. It doesn't matter what I picked. We're still gonna suck.
Yeah,
Listen,
just
I'm a
end the
Jets fan,
season.
And
Just end the season.
here's the thing: if we're competent and we're actually winning games, I'm gonna be worse
Homer.
than Cali.
Wait,
I'm gonna
wait.
be worse than Cali.
Hold on. You know what was so funny? A story last season that was absolutely killing me is when Lynch gave a rant about they were losing against the Patriots. They're like 2-14. He gave us a whole 30-second video about why are we doing this? Why, like, bro, you
Yeah.
won 2 games and they're losing like 35-0. Oh my god. That absolutely killed me. Oh my god. But
I gotta go.
all right, Lynch.
All right. Much love, Lidge.
Thank you for hopping on the show tonight, bro.
Love you, dude.
Of course, dude.
Much
Love you
appreciated.
guys.
Love to
Yes,
see the
bro.
beard.
We love you.
Love the beard.
Got you guys.
All right, see ya.
Oh,
All right.
always
all
good
right,
having
who- Who do we say we didn't do defensive player of the year, right?
No, Depoy, I mean, it's either Pass or Chain or Miles Garrett. I just don't see anybody else.
Yeah,
like
I
this.
don't think there's much
yeah.
debate.
All right. Okay. On my phone. All right. What was after this? The hot take.
Defense rookie of the year, Caleb Downs. But
I don't think anyone's disputing that.
Reuben Bain, Bailey.
Bain, Bain's my guy.
I feel like
Bain's
it's-
my guy. I just
it's
don't see
harder
how a
for a
guy that was
safety to
supposed to go top 7, then he goes at 15, doesn't win defense rookie of the year. He's gonna be dominant on that defense.
You know, everyone's been saying he could be like a Pro Bowl level pass rusher by year 1, possibly year 2.
Agreed.
That's
I
a
don't
hard
hate
award
that.
for a safety to win. That's the only thing. If an edge gets 8 sacks or 9 sacks,
If he gets around 9 sacks, then I can definitely see him winning defensive rookie of the year. Offensive rookie of the year. Do we have any predictions with that?
I'm gonna go Jordan Tyson.
Personally, I like Tate. I think
You know
Cornell
what?
Tate's gonna get a bunch of jump balls and a bunch of prayers from Cam Ward.
Yeah, we saw that last year thrown across the field and whatnot.
Yeah, but now he's Dable, dude. He's Brian Dable, and he maximized Blake
yeah.
Rivers.
He's gonna get a lot
I
of
feel like
desperation
Cornell
for
Tate is not a crazy Tate. He was drafted
No.
as the highest receiver for a reason.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Him or Mendoza. If a non-quarterback wins it, it'll be Tate. But I think Mendoza should win it. or
Why
would win
not
it.
Jeremiah Love? I know they're a bad team.
Nah,
No, too many mouths to feed. He's not gonna get the ball.
Yeah,
It's also Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, dude.
You're right. All right. Do we have a hot take at all? I mean, any hot takes going into this year?
Oh, yes. I have a burning hot take. I think the Packers win no more than 7 games. Maybe 6.
I don't
They
know.
win. They won 6 or 7 games this year.
I don't know. They're definitely going to be in a playoff contention team.
Dude, respectfully, Caleb has 1 loss against the Packers. Actually, 2 losses against the Packers. First one was a blocked kick his rookie year at Soldier Field. And number 2 was the comeback where he underthrew on the last play of the
Yeah,
game
I
and got
remember that
intercepted.
play.
So I
Yeah.
feel like the Bears sweeping. I think the Bears will sweep the Packers this year, personally, because I think the Packers lost a lot and didn't gain that much. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you lose Wicks, you lose Dobbs. You're banking on Christian Watson, who hasn't played a full season yet.
Yeah,
You're
I
banking
don't.
on Marquise Golden.
Matt,
I just don't believe the Packers are that good.
we'll see. I don't. I mean, I don't disagree, but
Jordan Love is the most overrated quarterback in football.
no.
The people
He's
that
top 6, and we all know it.
we who's
Yeah.
we?
Hell
We
no.
He's
as
not top
we,
10.
Hell no.
we as
Off
in we,
dome, I'll give you 10 quarterbacks who's better than him.
no.
Off the dome. Burrow, Jackson, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Stafford, Dak, Goff,
Williams.
Caleb.
Golf is not better than Jordan Love. Caleb Williams is not
What?
better than Jordan Love right now. No.
Oh
No.
no.
I would even go as far to say I would take Trevor Lawrence. I'm taking Trevor.
No. You're starting a
taking
franchise
Trevor.
with Trevor Lawrence over Jordan Love right now?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Oh my God.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Are you kidding me?
No way.
Yes. Trevor Lawrence was regarded as a generational prospect outside of Clemson.
No, I'm simply taking Jordan Love. To me, I don't. I think he's better than Dak. I think he's better than Jared Goff. I think he's better than Drake May right now. I think he's.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even say Drake May.
Give Jordan Love a number 1 receiver. Imagine if Jordan Love had like AJ Brown on this team. He's had a bunch of number 2 and number 3 receivers to throw to. And give him that. Give him like a bona fide number 1 receiver. That man's having a 4,000-yard season, an MVP type of caliber.
Me personally, I think Christian Watson was the X, and he's just not a big.
You of all people should know because he absolutely hoops against your defense in that playoff game. Hooped. The only reason why they
Well,
lost,
yeah, but did they win that playoff game?
is because the kicker was selling and the defense sold. That's the reason why.
Quarterbacks win.
Yeah,
You can't
defense.
blame it on.
All right, we're getting sidetracked. All right, Shay, what's your hot take going into this year?
Well, I have 2. I don't know how. I don't. The first one is I think Jadarian Price will have more rushing yards than Jeremiah Love.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
That could happen.
Jeremiah Love, I love the guy. Probably one of the best running backs I've seen in college in my life. Yes. But that is a dumpster
Agreed.
fire. That is a dumpster fire. That's all. That's what it is at the end of the day. I mean, I just don't know how that offense is going to be even like competent. I don't. And that I saw a clip today. That offensive line is terrible. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be worse than Genti's situation last year. Honestly.
Yes, I agree with that.
That was really.
I agree with that.
That was.
I
Really
agree with that.
And I think Jadarian Price is stepping into a perfect situation. He's got Kenneth Walker's gone. Charbonnet's coming off an ACL. So, I mean, if he takes the backfield for the first 3 weeks and wins the job, it's his job. So, and like Belcher said before, he didn't get enough respect because he sat behind Jeremiah Love. The dude was still a top 5 running back, top 3 running back in college football.
Mhm.
Right.
He just happened to be the RB2.
Behind
So,
Jeremy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I think George Pickens takes a big step backwards, and CeeDee Lamb restarts himself as the number 1 wide receiver in that offense, and puts up like 1,600 yards. And Pickens is somewhere around 1,000.
Interesting.
I think they both go over 1,300. Honestly,
how many did Pickens have last year? Wasn't it? What is it? 12?
13. 13. I thought I was close to 13.
Dang.
I don't know.
I think my hot take going into this year
The Eagles suck major dick balls.
No.
Pickens had 14-29.
14. Oh
14,
shit!
29?
Yeah.
Damn, he was better than Brown and Smith.
He had that many yards?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
crazy.
Well, you got to remember, CeeDee Lamb was out a couple weeks.
That is true. That's also true.
He got hurt in the Bears game.
Yes, he did actually.
Here's I don't even know if I have a hot take on this shit. All right. Off rip. I think oh man, I don't even know if if I have one. I think that Tampa Bay, nah, that's not a I don't know. I don't really have like a bona fide like hot take going into this year. I think probably the only one I would have is I think that I don't know what the heck just happened to Belcher. Did he just leave?
Well, anyway, CeeDee Lamb had 1,000 yards in 12 games. He had one catch against the
Oh,
Giants
that's
the last week
ridiculous.
of
Their
the year.
passing game was ridiculous. That's my
And
hot
he
take.
didn't.
I just have my hot take. I'd say the Bengals are in the AFC Championship game. That's my hot take. I said it earlier before. That's my hot take. But I didn't know they had. I didn't know GP had 1,400 yards. That's
Mhm.
ridiculous.
And Lamb had 1,000 in 12 games. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, that's like their passing game to me easily probably. I think they're just right behind the Bengals. I mean, you can
Yeah.
make a debate that they're
Ferguson's not a bad tight end. I saw a thing the other day that PFF has him as 24th ranked tight end. I think that's a little crazy.
He didn't have a good year last year or 2 years ago. Am I not mistaken of that?
No, yeah, he had touchdowns last year.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I just think that that's my take. I think Cincinnati will be in the AFC Championship game. That's the
I
one
like
take.
that.
Sorry, what was your hot take? My audio. It said my audio wasn't connected, and
I said Cincinnati will be in the AFC Championship game.
okay, that's extremely hot. That's like, dude, that's molten lava hot. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's my hot take.
Are you kidding me? That's borderline psychotic.
Bro, I just think that if they get into the playoffs, I think Burrow can have like that another like amazing playoff run where they can win 2 playoff games. It's not like out of realm of possibility.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I think the AFC landscape is a lot different from when Burrow last made the playoffs, but I see what you mean.
absolutely. It's just a lot. It's a lot easier for them to win like 2 playoff games if their offense is like absolutely hooping.
Sure.
So yeah. All right. We have one more segment. This is like not like really football-ish, but I did send this in and we did talk about this. We did do this. It's a little bit of a question. I'm sharing the screen. $1 million on the line. Are you guys for $1 million tackling Derrick Henry one-on-one? Making a layup on Victor Wembanyama, making contact off Paul Skeens, he throws about 100 miles per hour, or saving a penalty from Ronaldo? Which one are you choosing?
Here's my thought process. Do I think I could do any of them?
No.
Probably not. Definitely not. What do I think my best chance is? Making a layup on Victor Wembanyama.
Wow.
I think my best chance is him not getting a hand on it. I'm not tackling Derrick Henry. Let's get that out of the way.
I just have a question about the Paul Skeens one. How many pitches?
You have an at bat.
Yeah, I think it's just one.
No. Oh yeah. Okay, you have one.
One pitch?
We'll say
that's out. Yeah, I'm not stopping Ronaldo. The only way I'm stopping Ronaldo is if he misses the fucking net.
Yeah,
and it's a big ass net.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the top 5 goalies in the world that can't stop a penalty from like anybody.
Yeah.
So the only way they miss is if it misses the net. So you're not doing that. So I think at least Wembanyama, you could throw something up like a hook shot kind of thing, where he doesn't get a hand on it.
The problem is with Wemby, he's 7'5".
I understand. Well, my next question: is it driving? Is it standing? What is it?
It's like, let's say you're like in a 1v1 against him. You drive down the lane. Like you go to the hoop against him.
I think that's your best shot. I think you could go like extend your arm all the way out and just go high glass and send a prayer.
Personally, I'm looking at Paul Skeens, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Making contact off Paul Skeens.
Think about it. Like
I
a
don't know.
Yeah,
99 mile per hour pitch is like a gunshot. You won't be able to see it.
Yeah, until that one pitch is a 72-mile-an-hour curveball and you were sitting fastball and you just swung out of your shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Like his fastball is like you only see that for like a split second. Like you have to like close your eyes and just swing at that point. And you have like
Also, if
10%
Derrick Henry's running at me looking like that, then whatever he looks like in that picture, hell no, I'm not even getting in the way.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna,
Look at his
I'm
face
kind of
that.
tabletop instead of tackle him. Kind of like just go for the ankles and pray for the best.
He's gonna
He's
hurdle.
hurdling you.
He's hurdling you.
Okay, I'm like 6'4", 6'5". There's no way he hurdles me, dude.
But there's multiple safeties in the NFL that are like 6'4".
I mean, he might dribble my skull off the pavement.
This is also one-on-one, so he has the whole field.
This is one-on-one. Let's say like you're the safety.
You're
You're
an
the
open
last
field. It's
person.
not like you're running through a lane.
Yeah, no.
Oh
You
shit.
have no chance against Derrick Henry.
Well,
You're
I think I'd have the best
safety
chance
now.
against Derrick Henry. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I think my best chance is Derrick Henry.
Wow. I think my best chance. I was kind of back and forth with Paul Skeens and Wemby because like Paul Skeens is like, okay, like he's throwing 100, but I just have to like correctly time it based on a split decision.
His ERA is like 3 something. So if you keep swinging long enough.
Think about it though, like we're average Joes compared to like the best hitters in the world. Like
True.
he had 2 years ago, like a year ago, his ERA was like 1.7.
Oh wait, did he win Cy Young or no?
Yes, he did.
Oh shit.
Think about it. Like his ERA was 1.7 against like the best hitters in the world. We step in the box, like we have no chance. So like I think I just have to like correctly guess to make contact. Like it could be a foul. It doesn't even have to be a hit. Just be a foul. But I'm gonna say I think I'm with Shay. I think Wemby makes the most sense. Like you just have to like throw a sky hook or a floater.
You can do some crazy layup package.
Yeah, you
hope
just
it
have
doesn't get tipped.
you just have to throw the ball high enough in the air for him not to reach it. That's the best guess. Because I'm not tackling Derrick Henry one-on-one. Paul Skeens to me, like it makes sense, but like you have to make a split second decision to swing. Ronaldo's like he has like over 1,000 goals, and the net is large, and he never misses. You have to like basically hope he misses because if the goal's on target, you're not stopping it.
I don't think I'd save a penalty from like a high school soccer player.
Yeah.
It's like almost impossible.
It literally, it's impossible.
It is very hard.
It's literally impossible. So okay, that would be it. That's the segment for that, and this will conclude today's episode and the very live stream in today's live show with Shea Bresnahan, Michael Belcher, and Matthew who left early
due to sleepy time constraints.
Yes. All the short clips will be
Love you, Lidge.
Probably, hopefully, I can get maybe 1 or 2 of these after it's over. But this is a very, very long show. But thank you guys for coming on today's show today. Much appreciated. Previewing college football and the NFL season. We will have this episode up. But thank you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Please don't forget to subscribe to Time Out with McCallie podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts.
McCallie podcast on YouTube. What are you talking about?
Don't forget
Come
to follow
us. Are you not subscribed? Subscribe.
Don't forget to follow us on TikTok where all our short clips are, and on Instagram and on Twitter. But I'll see you guys in the next one.